All right, welcome back, everybody, to Finding Truth podcast on Unscripted Truth TV on YouTube. Logan here with Austin, as per usual, and tonight we got a hefty hitter. A lot of stuff this last week. Been been hitting us hard early and often in the news cycle. So a lot to get to. I know we'll touch on the results of tonight's conference championships in the NFL. Just kind of brush up on that, um, and then we'll move into some of the storylines from the week. Like obviously, with the inauguration came its own spectacle, almost like it was an award show. They even announced everybody who was there like an award show. I didn't know they did that. I don't think they always do that because usually it's outdoors, but it was very weird how they did that. Um, Almost like they were contestants, which
Yeah.
kind of they are. But so we'll talk about the inauguration a little bit, and then obviously, some of the happenings. You got the Elon saying hi to the people all the way in the back. His brother's all the way in the back. Talk about the salute and a couple of other things that have kind of branched off of that. We'll also get into the IRS potentially being abolished. Trump comes in swinging promises. We'll see what sticks as usual. I say as usual, but this is the first split term president I've had to deal with, so I guess But then we have of course, the Antioch shooting, that high school shooting at that Christian school, and we'll talk about that. This is something I definitely have to dive a little further into, just because I understand that there's a lot more biblical connotation to this one with Antioch, the actual place, I believe, in the that's mentioned in the Bible and other texts. So maybe I can do a little quick search when we're talking about it. But and then of course the Stargate project being another hefty pooled project that I don't think involves Elon Musk. I think it's actually a lot of other tech people involved, but Elon, I think, has come out as a kind of a critic of it, which he's been everywhere. He's basically the president so far. I've certainly seen more headlines with Musk than Trump, which is hard to take the spotlight from Trump. But so we'll talk about the Stargate. Well, hopefully we'll get into what the Stargate actually is, but then we'll talk about, you know, our perception of what they're trying to actually do, because we're living in a time where, 10 years from now, people will be talking about this project the same way we talk about projects from 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. So you get it, unless we quell it and quash it. But I'll hold out hope, but I won't hold my breath either. But yeah, without further ado, I'll kick it down to Austin for the goings on. How's it going, dude?
I think it's going right as it should be going. Pretty perfectly as we were talking and called from basically the start of the National Six League scripted seasons start. We started saying of the Chiefs, uh, were the favorite to be back in the Super Bowl, and well, late weeks later, here we are. It's like I was saying, watching the weeks just dwindle away and go by, and here we are. Swift is in the big Super Bowl again, and it's very interesting the way they, last week how we talked about how all these teams made sense: the Commanders, Bills, Eagles, and Chiefs. Um, we talked about how that's why they had those four teams in there and how this all came to be. And last week it was interesting how the Commanders got the 666 franchise win, and now you got the Eagles today beating the Commanders, getting their 666 franchise win. And then, of course, if they lose to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, they'll get their 666 loss. So every week we have a 666 happening, and it's amazing how they put this one together. Last week they had all the narratives with Mahomes and Travis Kelce and all the numbers aligning there, and this week it was the same thing. Of course, I'm still 29 as of now. In 3 months, I'll be 30 in my 31st year of life. Mahomes is 29, football 29.
Mhm.
The Bills lost the game with 29 points. So you
Yep.
have 29 being represented big time
Real
as
quick
always.
too, he also got his 43rd touchdown in the playoffs, Mahomes. Just thought
Yeah.
I'd mention that.
Yeah, they really put this one together very well. I mean, you look at last game, how the way they rigged that one for him and how this one went down. And of course, it was a nail biter too. I mean, they had to keep this one close, had to, get the Bills the lead a couple times in the game, switch it up, um, keep you guessing how it's going to turn out. And of course, you have uh, the Chiefs getting the win, for the three-peat, they're going to win by 3. Uh, and it's, and then you have, like I said, whatever happens in the Super Bowl, how they script that out with the Eagles again, the repeat of 2 years ago already. So you have the Eagles back in again. You have to wonder how hurt is Jalen Hurts. And then, of course, they score 55, like the big Satan.
Yep,
So,
the Church of Philadelphia writing the letter about the synagogue of Satan. Of course, you got you know that in biblical terms, and then of course they score 55. I mean, I mean, what are we doing? This is basketball. This is like what they've done to basketball. How they just Curry just comes in, and now if your team's not scored 120, your score looks weird. I remember when it was rare that teams beat 100 because they'd have to give out some sort of like retarded snack like a Big Mac or something if you got 100 points. Or in Portland, it was the chalupa. Taco Bell chalupas for 100 points for the Blazers, and that was like rare. But now it's crazy how they just opened it up, and now you got a conference championship with this high a score. I'm sorry, are these not supposed to be the best 2 teams in the conference? How are they letting each other score so much? It's just stuff that's their offense is just so explosive.
right. Yeah, I said the same thing. I'm like, when do you ever see that many points in the conference championship? It's always defense, close game, low scoring, but now it's gonna blow this one open.
What is it? Oh, that's 76. What was the 78 that I was noticing constantly? There's a 78 I was following for a while, but that's the combined score. Yeah, 78 points in a conference championship is unheard of. Like, what the hell? I wonder if it did it set a record or anything? That's a lot of points.
Yeah,
Oh, I also wanted to mention just real quickly. I know we have gematria to back this up as well, but I don't have any kind of streaming for these games or anything. So I was just watching like the scrolling. If you just Google it, it just shows you the sports and who has the ball. Um, I noticed, that the difference in the game could be pretty much boiled down to the two-point conversions that Kansas or that the Bills missed compared to the one
yeah,
that Kansas City got. And it's
yeah,
just also the timing. You got to wonder about these things. These happened earlier in the game, and they'll always be like, "Oh, it was a great play by the coach," or "This was a controversial play by the coach." But I can see why they do it because they want to get into this. They want to do this. It's just like those times that they're talking like that in the game. That's when you got to like key in on what that's. It's like, okay, that's going to be a point that you're going to look back to by the end of this game because when they go for 2 on times when they didn't need to, I mean, I could go and look at the thing, but, I feel like they went for 2 when they didn't need to,
yeah,
and if they just had 2 more points on the board, then they wouldn't have been in having to tie mode, they would have been in position to win at the end of the game, say everything else goes the same, but, it's just so weird that you notice there's been so many, of course, you have who was it? Mark Andrews for the Ravens dropping a 2-point conversion. This has been a lot of 2-point conversions. I wonder actually. But you had for the Ravens losing the game on a 2-point conversion. So we have a lost game on a 2-point conversion.
James
Interesting
got the
numbers.
94, 95.
Mm-hmm. I want to see with it.
84. Yeah, I seen that too. I was watching when I was looking at the stats too, seeing that they had the two earlier 2-point conversions that missed, and yeah, there was no reason to even go for two in those situations. And then you look at the game. Like I said, it was back and forth. I mean, the Bills had the lead a couple times, um, not by much, but by a few points. I mean, it was the game stayed pretty close. So, I mean, that's how kind of the first game was going for a while until the end as well with the Eagles. But yeah, you have to, there's always the questionable calls. I mean, the 2 points you don't have to go for, and um,
back-to-back touchdowns, actually. So
yeah,
at the end of the first half and beginning of the second half, they
yeah,
missed a 2-point conversion. You see, and this is what I mean is like they do it at a time it's to make it 18-21 to put it in within field goal range before the half. You have such little faith in your team is going to score again. Like I kind of get it, but at the same time, I just think it's much more important to get the points on the board in the early part of the game. Like maybe that decision becomes a little bit more muddled in the third quarter and late third quarter, fourth quarter or something. But it's so weird because these people play in the NFL. We're just spectators and I don't even spectate it. But you know what I mean. But you've seen things how quickly things can turn around within, you'll have a boring game for 50 minutes. But then the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, back and forth, and they're both able to score twice in 5 minutes. It's just like, what is going
yeah.
on? All of a sudden, this is the whole field's opened up and you're rushing for 80 yards. So, like, why would you be so worried about the point differential at the beginning of the second half to try to get it within 3 points right now instead of having it be at 4 points? Because then if you score a touchdown, they're at a field goal deficit. So it's just so strange. Or more than a field goal deficit is what I mean. So yeah, I mean that's what I mean. It's like I don't think these are, legitimate. These are the two callbacks I would say in the game that show that how they'll rig it to do these like long term how they're going to lose the game, but they'll hide it a little bit in like a play that might seem obscure in the moment because it's still a close game, 16-21, and hey, they even took the lead, but they missed that 2-point conversion again. But hey, we got the lead. But if you didn't, anyway, go on. But then of course they hit their only 2-point conversion, no problem.
Yeah, because I think they had the lead twice, once by like 3 and then once by 1. So that's just kind of the thing. I mean, that's why there was just no reason for the 2-point conversions, and usually, and that's not something you're going to call at that point of the game, anyways. In those situations, it's like, I mean, they didn't. It was kind of a game where it's like last week it was kind of more about Travis Kelce, obviously because the numbers, the gematria and stuff. So he was more involved than Mahomes and stuff. But this week it was kind of like they had to pick different people to kind of fill the role who was going to kind of do much. It was kind of interesting to see how they went about it. Even the end. I mean, them getting the first down, run out the clock. Um, generally in those situations, it's usually going to come down to the defense holds or defense makes a play or something. But
Just
it's just they got the points, they got the score they wanted, and like, all right, this is how we're going to end the game. So it's just yeah, and like I said, the 29. I mean, they always got to have that 29 in there. so big for Mahomes right now, and then you get, like I said, football, and then you look at it too. Like I said, the 3 points, trying to three-peat, and then you have, uh, the first game, like I said, where and the first one to me could have went either way too with the Commanders, because that made sense too, but uh, now you got Jalen Hurts in it again, so now you're gonna probably hear, how hurt is Jalen Hurts again? Probably limping around.
Saquon had 3 TDs. My word.
Barkley.
Oh yeah, one last thing I wanted to touch on with the Chiefs. I did notice this early on, that the first passing touchdown was to Xavier Worthy. I mean, what a name! What a name! When when you know about you know Francis Xavier, the Jesuit, and it's just the name Xavier Worthy. Just
Yeah.
it's why it's a wild name to just be thrown in your face at random times. A lot of these football names are just absolutely wild, and you go down like a roster and it's just like, man, you cannot go through like a NFL roster without Christian, without uh I don't know. There's just certain names that just work their way into it. I mean, even just look at the ones who scored. Uh it just seems so biblical in my opinion. Like everybody's name has a biblical connotation, or it's just flat out, a Jesuit call to. I mean, maybe we could look at Xavier Worthy too, because the few times I've gone over these score things at the whatever these things are, summer scoring summaries, I haven't seen his name. I don't remember Xavier Worthy. I don't follow football, so I don't know like depth charts anymore. So I don't know if he's like a staple on the Kansas City Chiefs or he got called up with an injury or anything like that, but I have never heard of him honestly until
Yeah,
today.
I haven't heard of them either.
So
So
good
they
for
had to
him.
stick them in.
Got the master number 11. You also see they won the game at 3:33.
Yep.
And then, if for anyone who knows about, the Bills' insane 33 ritual, with Damar Hamlin and that whole thing with the first ever suspended game,
Yep.
live game. Uh, Look into that. I know Zach's done incredibly detailed work. I think he even that's one of the few things that is playlisted on Gematria Effect News. So if you went over there to check it out, it would be easy to actually find because it's actually playlisted. He needs to playlist more of his stuff, but I understand he's busy. But yeah, if you go over to this here, check that out. He definitely has a playlist for the whole Damar Hamlin situation because that was, I mean, for anybody that just needs it's like you can't just sit there and say, "Oh, they only did a Masonic ritual for one game." They just did it for one game, all right. Now it's back to regular football with just good old fashioned dudes grabbing underneath the people's crotches, rubbing their nuts up a little bit, and getting down and dirty. All right. It's just like, no, you can't do a Masonic ritual in one game and just say all the other ones are, oh, okay, we're not doing that anymore. It was just for this
Yeah.
game. Yeah, the only guy standing, his name was Neil.
Yeah.
They were killing on that one. That one was so good. Oh, and I'm being facetious. It is not good, but it was funny. Uh, but anyway, yeah, I guess we can look at real quickly look at the Eagles, because this is, these were the teams that I called. What was it, 3 weeks ago already now? Golly. But at the start of the playoffs, this was I mean, my my bracket was fucking busted. But the two teams that I picked to get to the end are there. So I guess in that way it's good, but pretty much everything else didn't really pan out. The only thing I'll mention is that look out for Lamar Jackson leaving. Like I said, he was
Yeah.
furious with that whole Mark Andrews drop 2-point conversion, because I mean he was wide open, and everyone's like, it was cold. It was cold. It couldn't catch that. I was like, your gloves. You can't. I could catch a snowball and keep it intact with those gloves. I don't want to hear it. But yeah,
That was an easy pass too. It wasn't. I
man,
mean, it was wide open right to you.
right in your wheelhouse too, like right where you like. It's not like you
Right. A
you
perfect touch throw. It was a perfect touch throw.
and it's like where you can catch it like that, not like
Right.
one of these that you might it might bounce off your chest. Those things happen. I can understand that. That's happened to me. I can
Right. It wasn't a
understand that.
Michael Vick
But
fastball. I
it's
mean, come
that.
on.
It's just you got to just hold your hands like that with your sticky gloves and catch it. It's obviously a purpose drop. It's obviously and not to mention, maybe we'll get into it. I know we don't have as long of a podcast as normal, well, just slightly shorter, but I guess maybe I can mention it real quick, just because he finally addressed the press or whatever on Twitter or whatever. Twitter post. Let's see if somebody. I know I read it, so it was. Yes, here we go. Oh, come on. Oh my God, how many things do I have to click? So this is for anyone who doesn't know. This is the tight end, or I think he's a tight end. Yeah, but he wide open 2-point conversion to tie the game, go to overtime for the Baltimore Orioles last week against the Bills, and he just flat out drops it, end of the game. So it just it went from the most exciting it could be to obviously it was very reminiscent of the Seahawks play, or just Richard Sherman.
Yeah.
But anyway, which is funny because Richard Sherman was like the first person to cover it on YouTube. So it's like, anyway. But yeah, it's impossible to adequately express how I feel. I'm absolutely gutted by what happened on Sunday. I'm devastated for my teammates, my coaches, and Ravens fans. I pour every ounce of my being into playing at the highest level possible because I love my team in the game of football like nothing else. Tell me where they're print. These are copy and paste. I have read this so many times without ever actually read. I've heard this every single time. When teammates do something, whether or not it's like an off the field incident or something like this is a copy and paste response.
Oh yeah.
They always say the same thing. I love my team. I love insert team. I love insert fans. It's just that's all they do. It's like, oh yeah, okay. But so that's why it's taken me until now to collect my thoughts and address this publicly. Even though the shock and disappointment are unlike anything I felt before, I refuse to let the situation define me. What do you mean you refuse? You don't get a say in how this defines you. We define you, you idiot. You dropped it. You dropped the ball already. We're not giving it back to you. I refuse. Okay, I promise that this adversity will only make me stronger and fuel us as we move forward. I thank everyone who has shown me and our team genuine support these past several days. Apparently, he was getting death threats. Death threats, celebrity death threats. All the celebrities are getting so many death threats. Despite the negativity, I've seen heartfelt love and encouragement, including from those who have generously donated to the Breakthrough T1D organization. Shameless promotion there. I was planning on looking in on that, whatever that is, because apparently he banked like hundreds of thousands or more from people who felt bad for him. So I'm like, maybe they're seeing, will the people get generous if we fuck up their team and make a white guy crying? Maybe they'll get generous if we do that. Even when the moment seems darkest, perspective can really reveal that there's still a lot of light in this world. I'm now going to do my part to bounce back and contribute to it. You get the darkness and light comment. God bless. Oh yeah. Sure, you got the actual God behind whatever you're doing. I just thought that was funny because, like, I don't know if anyone saw, like, apparently Lamar Jackson was like heated. Obviously, they're actors, they're acting. Lamar Jackson still had the full, like, white, just all you could see was this. I'm like, what are you, a ninja? Take that thing off. You're doing it's so crazy how they get these. And it's just because he's playing a character. Lamar Jackson's always been the more like hood guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have Jalen Hurts, who was like the Russell Wilson archetype. I don't want to sit here and get like canceled for my opinions on, but like look at it this way: it's almost like Fresh Prince of Bel Air. You got the Fresh Prince, and then you got the other what the guy, I forget his name, but there's two different archetypes, if you will. But yeah, Lamar Jackson's more like the thug guy. Tyler Mahomes is the mulatto who is, he's like Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin's like the best dunker in the world. Tyler Mahomes, or yeah, Mahomes is the best quarterback in the world, and they're both obviously like extreme light skin mulatto or whatever, but they're black as hell. They'll could get in their interviews and they're just black. I'm black, but it's just like, man, I swear on summer days I'm darker than you, I'm not. I don't think that way. By the way, I do not think that way. I'm just saying like how these archetypes play out, and but yeah, and then so you have Lamar Jackson just going off on the post game, very much like a what's his face, Marshawn Lynch. He was
Yep.
obviously, I'm from the hood in California, dude. I'm from Oaktown. Just like, okay, so what? But sorry, it's a tangent there. I just wanted to point out that there still might be legitimacy to what I was saying. I had the Ravens losing like earlier, I think, but when they did lose, he did go off, and it is kind of slap in the face to the franchise when they do that. When they talk out of turn. I don't think they gave him the slack on his rope to speak that much, so there might be repercussions. Those
Yeah,
are
it's
all.
the fact, like, and how we, you got to look at how you look at how many people, how many teams have a shot, and then you look at how these things always play out every year. It's like, how could people, say you're like a Packers fan and you just, or a Lions fan, you can't see how, like, you're not meant to be in the big game. You're not meant to be in the Super Bowl. Like, I mean, or a Vikings fan or like anybody. I mean, it's always the same teams, and then it's like even if it's someone different, like, um, and like I said, the only year it wasn't uh the Chiefs in the Super Bowl in the last how many years was when it was the Bengals, is because it was the year of the Tiger.
Hmm.
That was the only time Mahomes lost the AFC Championship. Otherwise, it's just been Mahomes every time. I mean, uh, going to his what fifth Super Bowl, trying to go uh 4-1 in Super Bowls, only lost to Brady. So otherwise, he'll be 3-5 if he loses. But then you have to look at it. It's interesting because you have the same exact rematch from just 2 years ago.
Hmm.
Um, and then you have last year he was up against the 49ers. Another team that's always in it. And then you had um, what the year before that it was like I said, the Bengals and the Rams. Um,
It was what the Bills was the first time around. Oh no, wait, that was the AFC Championship or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
The year before that you had Mahomes, and then you had Brady in the Super Bowl. Obviously, Brady won. Um, the
Tampa.
year before that you had Mahomes' first Super Bowl where he beats Garoppolo, so the 49ers. So I mean, look at the Super Bowls. He had the 49ers twice, uh, beat them twice. Now he's got the Eagles twice. He could beat them twice. And then he just had the other Super Bowl, like I said, where he was up against Brady but lost. So he could go 2-2. He went, 2-2 over the 49ers. He can go 2-2 over the Eagles. So I mean, just think about the chances of all that. I mean, how they have the same teams, the same people all the time, because this is just who's designed to be in it. This is who they want, and it's for these reasons. I mean, how could anybody argue it when it's that to a T? I mean, you're always playing the same people. You're always playing the same team. It's there. Who's going to be in it, and then you have all these teams that all these people that think, oh, it's going to be my year, it's going to be my team, and then it's just like then you just see that it's never your year, it's never your team, because it's not supposed to be. It's not rigged for it. It's not. You're not meant to be in the spotlight. I mean, it's just it's phenomenal how they do it.
It truly is. I mean, yeah, I mean, I couldn't have said it any better. It's yeah, I mean, you get a barn burner in the NFC Championship. You know, you have the upstart. Well, I say upstart. They've been doing pretty good the last few seasons, but historic. I shouldn't say historically because the Redskin is like I think a very winning franchise, but you know, just in recent years, Washington, you know, has been playing fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth fiddle to the Steelers, you know, like the Steelers, um, you know, just perennial teams like the Patriots, Steelers, 49ers. You know, it's been like those there's been a core group, you know, even the Eagles. The Eagles haven't had that much of a lull between their, you know, you want to talk about the Chiefs, it's like maybe when it's all said and done, you can look at it from like a 15-year perspective and you'll start, you know, maybe they'll have similar numbers after 15 years. I know Chiefs are doing it all in one bulk thing, but the Eagles have been in the big game a lot in my life. Um Obviously the Patriots too, but
Yep.
yeah, it's so I guess, you know, last touch on football before we get into some other good stuff. Who do you see winning the big guy? Of course, you already talked about Swift's back in it, so she's in the news with there's other stuff we're going to talk about with the Elon Musk thing. She's in the news with that one thing I brought up a couple weeks ago, which has blown up into a much bigger thing with the whole that stupid movie with the sexual harassment with Ryan Reynolds' wife, Blake Lively, and him both being they're all being sued. I can give you a little update on that. But Taylor Swift's been mentioned in that. You can't go anywhere without seeing. It'll be just
No.
like you're just perusing anywhere you go. You'll just be like
Yep.
you'll be reading like a book from like the late 1800s, and it'll just be like on that night a Taylor Swift is born. It's like, what is born? No, it's just everywhere. She just can't escape.
Yeah. Every store I go in, you got to see a Taylor Swift book. You'll be walking, you see Taylor Swift magazines, and oh, there's the Taylor Swift book, and it's up next to the Bigfoot book because she's got big feet.
That's the same book. You pick up, you're like, oh, I don't want that Taylor Swift crap. You get the Bigfoot one, and she's first page. No.
She's like, I got a special order. My shoes, they're so big. How they make you feel? But yeah, I mean, it's like I just said. I mean, you know, Mahomes only lost the Super Bowl is to the Bucks. That's the only other singular team he's played. He's played the 49ers twice. Now he's about to play the Eagles twice. He's got 2 wins over Garoppolo, porn star Jimmy G, and then you got as Stephen A. Smith likes to call him, and you had of course Brock Purdy, so Purdy, and then
Which
of
is
course
funny because like Jimmy Garoppolo is obviously the backup to Brady for
right,
at the Patriots too. So it's like really they're just keeping all these. It's just a amalgamation of like the same, you know, people. Which if you break it down a little bit further, it's just you realize these people are all in groups. These are all the people willing to keep the spectacle going. That's why they're pushed forward is because they will throw that interception. They will, and I don't think I'm at the point where I don't I'll just for any but you know just to not be put in a crazy camp. I'll and say 100%. I'll say because then you'll get people saying, "Oh yeah, well, what about this play? Look, he literally slipped right here, and look, he was crying." And I'm just like, oh, okay, I have to talk about every single play, but I think a high 90% of every game is rigged. I'm talking about every play call, the people executing the plays are paid and have agreed to do a story like it is a movie. And how many movies are there about football? And how many movies about football star ex football players? And it's just like, oh, it's like, oh, do you want to go do another movie? Yeah, I'll do another movie. Oh, this one's going to hit the big screen. Oh, the last one I did was, you know, every Sunday. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think it's very probable that Mahomes does do the double sweep over the 49ers and the Eagles. This will be the first time he plays the same exact person again as quarterback. I mean, it's possible that the Eagles upset because, like we talked about, how it's rare that a lot of things perfectly play out sometimes, especially with all the 666s. But um, I mean, they could do something like that, but they could also just go through with the ritual and then just get it right here as well and perfectly line it up.
Like we've talked about too, a lot is, we're at that quarter centennial. So this is a
Yep.
year. This is a big deal for people that plan this world, let's put it that way. Plan the events of this world, and like to have little weird things, weird shows at the Olympics and stuff like that. It's just like, that's not for us. We're not the audience that's watching that. So we don't, the average person doesn't get the esoteric nature of what they're being shown. They'll just, the devil, biblical devil. It's the biblical devil, and that's all that exists is the biblical devil and the biblical God, and that's all that there is. And so it's either all bad or all good. And then they'll, munch their cheeseburger and down their beer, and all this stuff is just middle bad and good. It doesn't actually register on any bad or good scale. It's just the all bad when you got a red guy with a horny little tail there and stuff. That's the only bad stuff. But so you got Chiefs, huh? And yeah, that would make sense. They both make sense. Like
Yep.
you brought it up perfectly as we were talking. Like the Bills would make sense. The Commanders all make sense. They all have a election year significance. Each and every single one of them. I forgot to say about the Bills too. Obviously it's a New York team. So that's up there for Trump as well. But obviously that didn't play out. But I'm just saying, obviously you have the Commanders, Washington D.C. You have the Chiefs, the commander in chief.
Yep.
Um, and what's interesting too is he's up for the three-peat, and he wins on Kobe's death anniversary. He's been very connected to Kobe. I can't remember all the certain things about Kobe and Mahomes, but I know that even when Kobe was alive, there was a lot of like social media back and forth between them. Um, like goat talk. That's what they like to say. Goat talk. Just another thing that we casually let become uh, significant in our colloquialisms and how we talk is goats. We're a goat. I'm a goat. It's just like it's so fucking stupid. I just, man, I want to start recording people and just having a long-term plan of like playing them like an hour of them, a compilation, like an hour-long compilation of them 10 years from now. And just be like, hey, you like what you were doing there? You like all this? You sound stupid. You sound so retarded. You just went with it, didn't you? You just went with it because everybody else did, didn't you? Didn't you, you sack of shit? Answer me.
Yeah, Mahomes. I forgot he also lost another AFC championship to Brady. Um, so he lost that one to Brady, and then he's in the Super Bowl, and then he won that one, then lost the other AFC championship to the Bengals and the Burrow, and then
Was that the
now
win
he's
against Seattle? That Patriots in the Super Bowl? Was that Super Bowl? I can't remember how long ago.
no.
Who were the
This
Patriots?
was like, I think this was like 20. I forget, it was 18 or 19. Because then the Patriots, I think it was,
Eagles?
yeah. Because then the Patriots went, because they faced the Eagles and they lost. That was when Nick Foles beat
Mhm.
Brady, and they had the other one where then the next year where he won against the Rams in that really low scoring one. So, and like I said, I mean,
Mhm.
look at the Rams were just in it. So the Rams were in it, the Patriots, and then the Rams were in it again against the Bengals. So yeah, I mean, it's always the same teams if you're paying attention. I mean, and then it's just like the year of the Tiger, it's going to be the Bengals because this
Like,
is
how do
their
you
1 year. It
justify
makes sense.
buying a Tennessee Titans ticket? How do you
Right.
how is anybody for the last, like, ever justified saying, "This is the year. This is the year." It's like, I still remember the first Super Bowl I ever watched, the Rams Titans, that fabled, that one goes down in the history books. What was he, like a yard away from winning the game, but got tackled short? Who was it? The Titans running back. He's super well known. I can't remember his name though.
Eddie George or
Yeah, yeah, or yeah, yeah, yeah. I believe Eddie George. Yeah, but that was the Kurt Warner for the Rams,
yep.
and yeah, I was watching that at my Baptist church when I was just a wee lad, when I didn't really understand sports yet. But I remember watching that and it being insane. Of course, good on churches for having Super Bowl parties. It's just like, okay, if only I knew what I know now when I was just a little guy.
Right.
But yeah, you know what? Unscripted. That way we could. I could. Here's the thing: we could either go 2-0, unscripted truth, or whatever you want. Our channel could either be 2-0 with our Super Bowl prediction, or we could, we could either take a risky bet and put both of our eggs in one basket, and you know go for 2-0 or 0-2, or I could just say the Eagles and we could hit 1-1. At the very least, we'll be 1-1 for Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Um, and honestly, uh, the only thing I have noticed is that they like to hype up, because like this is what they're going to be talking about in the press and in the sports world. Look at this game. The Bills game was really close. Look at how close it was. It was a missed call. It was the 2-point conversion. It was this and this, or else the Chiefs lost. They really got to get their stuff together. Their defensive coordinator's been going through a rough patch right now, and you could really see, because look here on the sideline. He's getting into a scuffle with one of his with one of the main defensive ends, and this could really spell trouble. They're not going to get. They better get honed in. They better get practicing, and they better get back together to what they were doing earlier in their season, or else they're going to have to face a real time against Jalen Hurts and this big time team. Because man, look at the points they threw up against. It's just. And then by the time the game time comes, none of that shit matters. It never mattered. None of that. It's just talking shit. You see how I could have done that for 10 more minutes, and I have no idea about either of these teams. All I would have to do is like pull up this, and I could do just with this information on the screen, like this, I could just go. I could just go for however long I needed to go. So imagine what all these ESPN talking heads are going to be saying. But so yeah, it's like naturally my inclination is to say they hyped up the Eagles, a big, huge win, just to kind of tip the scales. And by the time the game starts, like I said, none of it will truly matter. Um, but there is a part of me that does want to say go underdog Eagles on this one, just because of all the Trump parallels. And I know, but then I'm going against like Kobe parallels, and then I'm going against it's more than playing anything about the football teams. It's just what patterns have I noticed, and I haven't been paying super close attention. I just did, my prediction earlier a few weeks ago when we're talking football for a while. That really stemmed from just pattern recognitions. I was just noticing the few times I was paying attention to games, or at least how they were winding down, I could see the archetypes of characters. And then we talked about it for a while. You have like a Goff. I just don't see Goff doing it. Goff's not the guy to do it. Obviously, um, the Bucks quarterback, he's not going to be, he's not the guy this year for sure. Um, so yeah, you can just see, who it makes sense for only a few of the quarterbacks out of the initial round of however many there are, I don't know, like 30 something. How many teams are there to start the playoffs with the wild card? I can't. I lose track. It's so weird how they do that. Anyway, but yeah, there's only like a handful that really make any sense, and I don't know. It's interesting. Uh, it's also being played in New Orleans, where they just had their first snow since '63. They has not snowed in New Orleans since 1963, and it just snowed there with that whole weird weather pattern that hit. So once again, we kind of mentioned this before with that whole weather event in Asheville, or in Carolina, only for everything to be, or not just Carolina, but it hit that Georgia too, but it all just happened to be done by the time a big game was queued up. It's like, that's interesting that hurricane just kind of like, you got a few days just to get it all together before the big game that a bunch of people are going to file into this building for, even though their whole like town's ruined. Interesting. This is, it kind of gives the similar vibes, whereas like you have this weird snowstorm in New Orleans, and then you have, a typically okay in the cold team. Well, actually, both of them are typically, used to the snow. So I don't know. But yeah, I'll just say Eagles. That's why the worst we can do is 1-1. But I do
Yeah.
see some things for the Eagles actually.
Yeah, and it could be like that Patriots Eagles Super Bowl where everyone thought it was gonna be Brady and the Patriots, and then it was Eagles and Nick Foles. It could be kind of like
Mhm.
that. Um, and like we were saying, it's a lot of times, you think it's gonna go one way, and because it all perfectly aligns, but that's why it doesn't go that way, and they go a different way. Um, it's kind of like when like the Patriots were 16-0 and they lost to the Giants and lost to the Giants
Mhm.
again, and then Brady goes 7-10 in the Super Bowl, only to lose to the only other loss was once to Nick Foles and the Eagles, but and then he
Yeah, you get
beat
the
the Eagles
goat
before.
against
So
the
I mean, you just
Foles.
see what I mean. It's the same teams over and over, just being recycled, and all these double downs. I mean, it's very it's very possible Mahomes goes, uh, he went 2-0 against the 49ers. He could go 2-0 against the Eagles, and then this time it would be the same person, Jalen Hurts again. So just like Brady was the only guy to beat Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'll stick with that for now. I think I think I think these can be like a little liquid predictions, just because who knows what storylines are to come from stemming from these games, and I'm sure a shooting's right around the corner to cap this weekend playoff weekend off. But with that being said, that kind of leads into that shooting from last week. Right, of course, usher in a new president, you got to have a school shooting.
Yep.
In this case, the Antioch school shooting, and just for my own benefit, Antioch biblical. It was a city in ancient Syria that was a significant center of Christianity in the New Testament. So I'd have to. Oh, it's now known as Turkey. I think Turkey was just recently in the news for something else too. I know they all, the only time Turkey is one of those countries you never hear about unless it's an earthquake or a fire or something like that. It's crazy how they do that with certain countries. I'm sure they don't have any news going on there, but earthquakes. It's just like, otherwise they're just. That sounds like utopia to me. At least they wouldn't be news all the time. But yeah, he had this on January 22nd. Obviously 2 days into Trump's term.
It looks like anti-ouch. Like, ouch, you got me. Yeah,
Yeah,
just look at anti-ouch, Antioch High School. It's got the 78 right in. It's got the big Jesuit,
Mm.
big Trumpy 78. Um,
Oh, well, there you go. There's a 78. That like the total points with the Eagles game.
yeah. Antioch itself has got the 38, the 119. It's got the reflection 911 right in it. Got to get that going to start off for Trumpy. You got the high school. High school equals 59, like Freemasonry.
Mhm.
Of course, school's got that 2772. Can't escape that, of course. And then you have what's interesting too, because the shooting happened in the cafeteria at 11:09 a.m. So just like Antioch, the 119, of course it's got to be at 11:09 a.m. And of course the police were called 2 minutes later at 11:11. So you got to double down on that master number.
The police were called at 11:11.
Yeah,
Of course.
we're gonna wait 2 minutes exactly to call them. Got to complete the ritual. And it's so interesting how it's like all seeing eyes got the 119 as well, the 56.
You said it mentioned the all-seeing eye?
I didn't mention all seeing eye, but I just added that because it's also got the 119.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, and then you look at of course, Order of Illuminati's 201. And it's also got the Order of Illuminati's also 93, just like Antioch High School's got the 93. And you got the 258 and the 285, so you got the reflections there and the difference. But
you see the Fraternal Order of Police equals 119 as well.
Yep. Fraternal Order of Police got the 119. It's got the 124. Then it's just like you look at Police Chief John Drake. What a name.
Patrick Dragon, John Drake. It sounds like a UFC headliners.
He's got the reflection of 201. He's got the 102.
177, like the Jesuit order, too.
Yep. Of course, the shooting is going to happen in the cafeteria. It's got to start with everyone's eating.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the cafeteria equals 58, like, I think Trump, Freemason, what was it? Donald Trump? Or is it Donald John Trump? Maybe I'm tripping. Is it Donald J. Trump? Anyway. There's a
and the victims, I guess, went to the Ascension St. Thomas Hospital. Pretty interesting. Ascension's got the 99. Again, it's one of those 99, 36, 144, 54. You got ritual numbers, got got the nines all over the place. It's just like you look at, Saint, it's got the 72, 36, 63, the 18, Thomas, all these, keywords, Thomas, 86, like to get rid of. Hospital, of course, got the 44. And Ascension Saint Thomas equals 122. And just like the date was January 2nd, 122 or 211, however you want to write it. Looks like Pope Francis 122. We got the 59, the 58. So it was also the 37th day of the Pope's age, and shooting as well. It's got the 37. Of course, the 44. Of course, it'd be on a Wednesday. Wednesday's got that 44 as well.
And 37 too.
Yep.
Now, a little bit more about it was only like 2 people injured, 1 person and then the shooter itself, right?
I think so.
2.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. A boy and a girl.
Of course,
I'm
it would
not
have
trying
to
to be
down the street.
I'm not trying to be here laughing at this. But it's just 2 other students were injured, one from a bullet graze and the other not from gunfire, but from a fall. Just like, okay. It happened days ago, but the bruise is still not gone. Just like,
Yeah.
what? Why did we need to know about that? Okay.
And of
So
course, it's got to be in Tennessee. I mean, look at Tennessee; it's got the 47.
mhm.
It's like big Trumpy. Um, and if you abbreviate it to TN, it's got the 11. The master number. Kind of interesting.
This is in Nashville as well, right? And Nashville was in the headlines not that long ago for another shooting, wasn't it? I wanna
Yeah, I
say.
think. Yeah, I feel like there was something that just happened down there with a shooting.
Nashville equals 102. Like Police Chief John Drake. What's Johnny Drake looking like? There's that 86.
Yeah, and just look at the shooter Solomon, Henderson,
Oh,
like
this
Solomon's
is
Temple.
yeah, this is too much. You have you have all this talk about the police and the obviously their connection with the Freemasonry and the numbers that connect to Freemasonry that we highlighted 58, 59, all that stuff, good stuff. You got the shooter's name Solomon. I mean, this is a biblical school, a Christian school. Come on, people. Come on. This is not real. I mean, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. It's not real. It's not real to me. I'll just put it that way. I mean,
Yeah,
even the way they frame this picture is like you have them like through the pillars left and right. I don't know. That might be a reach, but they love framing there.
yeah. I mean, just look at his name, Solomon Henderson. It's
17
got the
miles.
74. It's like
Yeah.
Solomon's Temple, and of course, you look at Solomon. He's got the 86. Like to get rid of
Mhm.
Big Henderson. Henderson's got the 42, the 48. Big time numbers. Of course, the Freemasons, they keep all their secrets. Solomon's Temple, and you got uh, the victim too. The victim is a 16-year-old uh, Tennessee victim. And it's in the 16th state in order of statehood.
Mhm.
You got, and they were established June 6th. So they could be written 6-1 or 1-6. So you can't get off the 16 there, and then you got um, of course, you got just like murder. Murders. It's got the 79 in it. It's got the 34, the 83, the 38. Killings got the 74, 38. Jesus, 74.
I mean, look at this. I mean, headlines are really what they expect. These are just AI stupid stories written, in my opinion. But they got to get these numbers in there. We've talked so much about Freemasonry. What are the odds that the shooting after 11 a.m.? So look at the two numbers that are in this: 11 and 17. Anything about Masons that we know about 11 and 17? Hmm. When was the first recognized, or not first? It's hard to say. You got to be so precise when you talk about like the founding of Masonry, because I just feel like you get somebody who'd come out of it. Actually, the first lodge was, and you had Sir Frederick of Dunsworth, who was actually a Mason behind the scenes. It's just like, okay, but it's supposed, it's founding being in 1717, so obviously big numbers for them. So, and then 11 being a master number, and I think it was like the original, or no, the York rite was only 3 degrees. I can't, I just from other than 11, obviously being representative of the two, uh, Joachim and Boaz or whatever it is. columns has that as well. Drake said the suspect.
Big Drake. Yeah, it's a perfect story because it's just like look at police. Police 60. It's like 60 selection. It's got the 33. The 102 reflection at 201. Of course, this is such a story. It's like this has to be thrown in the mix too with everything because it's Trump, of course, just getting in there, and then this is going to happen, of course. So, uh, and like you said, we were saying, Tennessee under attack before, and then didn't seem like too long ago there was just something there. I can't remember it either, but this is going to be one of these stories where, I mean, who knows where it's going to go? Trump has already said, take the guns first, ask questions later, whatever. So, I mean, it's hard to say if this is going to be. And of course, it's got to be at a school too, high school, and of course, it's going to be on a Wednesday. But I mean, this is just a story that.
Oh, I did not know that they tied. Sorry. I always cut you off when I see these new things. But they tied Adolf Hitler into this. We were just obviously we're going to get into that whole Elon thing. But they say this 16 or 17-year-old kid had a 300-page document about alt-right extremist views and race mixing. It's like, bro, I was organizing my Yu-Gi-Oh cards at that age. What is this kid doing? I mean, I think I still was at 17. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving myself away there. But he document also includes statements praising Adolf Hitler and pages of explicit photos from previous school shootings. Yeah, you think that might not be pertinent information? The way they frame it is just like some online materials. And then they tell you what it is, like it mattered, like it doesn't even matter. It's just stuff about Hitler and race mixing and how he wanted to. Hey, he just kept looking at school shootings. What I did want to say just real quick, and I'm sorry for interrupting, is what motivates a 17-year-old? Why shoot yourself? Like, what are the odds that you're even going to be put through the to the fullest extent of the law, like in prison? You're not probably. What? Why? uh, It's something I'd have to figure out. Not only do I not believe these stories necessarily, but I uh, I don't understand the motivation. Even if you were gonna if you did want to do something like that, it's just such an odd thing. What idea? It's like I understand like a 40-year-old doing that, maybe, but why a 17-year? How could he possibly think that he was near the end? Like what? Like why in this was this in his head such a like end all thing to do that? It's like, even if you were so convicted to do that, why are you also so convicted? If you're that have that much conviction and you're it's like, why are you offing yourself afterwards? It just seems weird. Why not go down with it? Why not be proud of what you did? It seems weird.
Yeah, yeah. This whole story, it's like I was saying. There's so many things right now with Trump in this week, and this story here is just going to be something that's, and a lot of it's of course Tennessee, Republican state and everything, and
Mhm.
who knows, will it lead to you know Trump taking the guns or not, or whatever down the line, if this is going to be something that maybe will be more of a push. But I think with the push of a lot of things like we're going to talk about, like uh, the Stargate project, and the obviously the Hughes fire in LA, and the pride flag ban, and the whole Elon Musk doing the you know retarded pose. You have all these stories again. It's just one story, and this is just it's just how they're going to start it off. It's going to be Trump's first week. This is what they're going to get in there, and it's going to be real interesting to see where things go with this, because this just being such a high ritual. I mean, uh, something that had to take place this week. Um, and then it's like you look at like obviously a week or two from now, everyone's gonna forget the story anyways. I mean, it's gonna be just gonna
Luigi.
be yeah, it's gonna be completely gone anyway. So it's not even like people are gonna remember. But will we see some more shootings now pop up or something, or will we see this was at a school, obviously? So um, and of course we know that guy that's the big orange guy. We know he's just a big orange target, aren't they? They can't leave him alone. They're always taking shots at him. So maybe these stories will find a way to intercept down the line.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And you got such a large target, up top, down low. Imagine it.
Those ears, man, you can't miss them.
Mhm. Maybe he could have got him gauged. That's what he should have done. He
Yeah.
should have come out with gauged ears afterwards. Like,
Yeah.
he got me in the lobe.
It's all right. We got it. We took care of it. Covered it up.
Yeah. Did you see that the victim's full name equals 225, like the year 2025?
Oh yeah.
Very interesting. Also got the 369, which is you get that draw to Tesla and then or to sorry, to Hitler, and then you got Musk doing the fascist uh sign or whatever. And then you have this victim's name equaling 369, like the famous Tesla quote about the power of 369. And or if you're less scientific about it, you can always talk about that song, to the window, to the wall, 369. You got it, dude. You'd be so my gangster people, my gangster boys. I don't know how you guys want to be referred to as my G's. If you only knew the little aprons and nipples out and gay shit that your favorite hardcore rappers were doing when they weren't surrounded by half naked chicks that are paid to be there because they're paid. When that's not happening, their nipples out, they're blindfolded, they're getting poked in the butt by things, and they're wearing a little apron like they're about to cook in their little easy bake oven. And I- it's a, it's just like why would a rapper say 369? It's just like the esoteric stuff is just as prevalent in rap. It's just, in my opinion, it's so much more animalistic and easy to hide because it has this whole like flavor to it that people like expect. They expect a certain genre of things, so they look past all the devil angel stuff that's in all hip hop and rap. It's everywhere, but they just look past it. It's like whereas in like alternative music, it's just expected. It's just expected to be about, every music video is about devils and angels and stuff. So they'll say, "Oh, like that's the art about it." But my song's about my dead father though. My song's about it's about my high school sweetheart. It's like, "No, bitch. I know what your song's about. It is not about your life at all. You're singing about esoteric crazy crap." And anyway, that for anyone who needs a refresher on what my opinion on the music industry, I think I can't. What was that, episode 11 or something like that? Is Luciferian undertones or whatever? But I do a lot better justice about that in that episode. But yeah, moving on from this Antioch whole thing, that we can breeze right into the since that kind of drew parallels to the Adolf Hitler with the shooter. Apparently, I'm sure they'll find his manifesto any minute now. They always got a manifesto. But of course, you have this good stuff here.
Look at that face. Look at that retard face.
Dude, it's like he's trying to one up his jump half
Now I was
an
gonna
inch off
say,
the
yeah.
podium.
I can't jump, but I came up with this, bro. Keep it better, bro.
Before we get into potential numbers and gematria behind this whole thing, I guess two things. One thing I want to bring up a few episodes ago when I had a little small presentation about the Warner von Braun thing. It's funny how that from that Tesla Cybertruck explosion, how I sense the parallels with that Project Mars thing at that moment before the election and or not the election, before the inauguration. And, just look how it's playing out. He's in public office. Warner von Braun was the head of NASA. So he was in federal office. He held a federal office. He was more than just a worker at NASA. He was a very high up. For those of you who don't know, he was a big deal in the project or Operation Paperclip from like the JFK bringing Nazi scientists over. He was like one of the best and brightest of those groups, which of course America gets dibs, just like on the kickball field, where just the big, I get first pick. Russia, you gotta wait. Just like, oh fuck. Anyway, um, now him, of course, holding public office with the whole Doge office, government efficiency, which is hilarious because all of his comments recently have nothing to do with like efficiency. He's saying like you need more money. Isn't your job to allocate money better so that you don't need to take more money? Isn't that efficiency? I'm sorry, since when does efficiency mean like print more or add to? That's not what efficiency means. Efficiency means like doing the best with what you have. Just like,
Yep.
in my opinion, efficiency is a mixture of speed and skill. It's like a perfect balance of speed and skill. You don't go so fast that you're out of control, and you don't go so slow that you're wasting time. That's being efficient. Anyway, um, yeah, like I was saying, the parallels between the whole Nazi regime and Germany, and I mentioned that, and I think Zach's mentioned it. I know Zach's mentioned it more recently too. But I just kind of feel a little bit of vindication having noticed that whole Warner von Braun connection a little bit earlier, because you're starting to see it play out. And obviously, we're going to talk about Stargate here soon too. But this is the regime, if you will, the American regime that is, saying we're going to go to Mars. And apparently, Elon Musk, apart from doing all of this, he also had a planned launch to the moon today. SpaceX, they just are going to the moon. Check it out again, I guess. But I'm sure they don't have a 24/7 GoPro attached to their spacecraft. But that's just impossible. That's impossible. But whenever they get there, they can make a landline call though, so that's
Yeah.
fine. But yeah, I mean, this is just, to me, I completely. You could say I wasn't one of the people that did not see this coming. But it's the Roman salute.
Yeah.
It's just a Roman salute, guys. Romans are the good guys. You can do a Roman salute. Those are fine. Just don't do those Nazi salutes. You can emulate the Romans all you want. You can stick people in cages and enslave them and make them fight tigers and themselves to the death for the fake chance of freedom. And all while they're being mocked and yelled at by the populace around them that don't understand that they're also enslaved. They're just, but yeah, don't do the same thing that the guy with the little mustache did. Don't do what he did. Do this one. It's a little stiffer. You got to bend your elbow at 0.8 degrees. It's a very trained thing. You got to actually practice the Roman salute. The Nazi one's just crazy. You just go and do it. But the Roman salute, that takes some class.
Yeah, it takes a real skill to get your hand up that high, man. You got to reach for it, bro.
Get
We're
those
not jumping this
cookies.
time. We're reaching, bro. We're reaching.
Mhm.
Braxton is stretching.
Quite limber.
Yeah, total clown story. Um, Elon Musk has his birthday, June 28th, has been associated with several Nazi events. There's two of them I know, including in 1934, 1940. So we all know that was the day, like we've been talking about the last couple of episodes, where, of course, in 2017 they had the big internet purge on all of us, taking us, shutting us all down. Always got to pay tribute to the big Muskie. That's why he's going to be the world's richest person.
I mean, so these things aren't like organically happening. These things are he planned, they would have had to plan to talk with the far right German party. So he does a Nazi salute at the inauguration, and then just a day ago, he's talking to the far right German party. Oh, don't wink, don't bat an eye. It's a Roman salute. He just he already was planning on talking to the far right German party to move beyond past guilt. Now, I think everybody should stay even keeled. I don't care how Jewish you are. I don't care how many great uncles and aunts and grandmas, still had just barely escaped and they still had the barcode on their wrist. I mean, I'm not trying to seem like ultimately insensitive. I'm trying to say from like logically how I think we move forward is to in a way, drop all the past guilt. Yes, but not for an agenda. Don't do it for an agenda. Do it for your fellow man. Don't do it for a far right German party so that they can galvanize and become a militia again, for the government. Now, we should galvanize and form a militia against the government. And how is that ever going to happen? Well, one thing's for sure. If the only people that care about dismantling the government in a certain way are white people per se, we're going to go about that. And what happens if all the white people get together and they're marching on a Capitol? What is that? It's a racist movement. It's racist. But what if, I'm not a group person. I don't think that people are groups at all. I really don't. But because of let's just say people think in this way and with that perception of things, especially in the news media, now what if the black people were with us? What if we dropped our past guilt together to move forward and realize that the reparations of a being truly free, for everybody being truly free, once you breathe that first breath of actual free air, it'll be worth way more than any $2,000 check that the government could ever write you. In order to do that, you know, we need a 10 million man march. And we need leaders at the tip of the spear, so to speak, uh, that actually that don't have ties to the to the enemies that aren't leading us into a trap, that aren't, walking us into the slaughterhouse. But at the same time, we need to show that we're unified for us, not for our ancestors, honestly, not for our ancestors. Every group does things way too much for their ancestors, and there is a sense of honor you should have for your ancestors potentially. I'm almost past that. I'm almost past that whole thing. It's where I think it's too late. It's too late. We're so far from the only people who do this nowadays that actually give adherence to their ancestors in a real meaningful way. The majority of people, I would say, are the people we have to fight against. They're the only ones that have kept the books, that have kept the history, that have kept the bloodlines. You'll get some tribes here and there, and I'm sure in other countries that is a bigger point. Like I know even just in Costa Rica and stuff like that, and I'm not trying to discount all of them. I love that they keep their history and everything like that. I'm talking about as in on the ground in the cities where we need to do this, where we need to make this happen. We need to drop the tribalism. We need to drop the ancient people that we're respecting. I think they would respect us a whole lot more if that's the way we're thinking about it, to see that, oh, wow, it only took 5 generations. Hey, that's a Thomas. That Thomas is marching right there. He's going right towards the Capitol. He's there. He's leading. He's got a megaphone. He's going. That I'd be proud of, not the, oh, hey, there's that Thomas with a group of 3 people arguing against the other group of 3 people that are different color skin than him about which one's ancestors are right. They're the ancestors. They're there hugging and saying, "Damn, I wish our fucking kids weren't so stupid." And meanwhile, they want us to march together. Instead, we're fighting against each other so much that we can't do what needs to be done. We need to join together and show, imagine how scary that would be to truly merge. And I'm talking about, it's so annoying. I feel like this was possible in the 90s. And I do know what happened, but I don't know really what happened. I don't know why I feel so unaffected and everybody around me is so affected. I mean, it pisses me off that like white people with a chip on their shoulder, like I had growing up, didn't, that they got swept away in all this garbage the last 15 years or so. I don't know what happened to them or what, you know, CIA mechanism switched in their brain, but it's almost more confusing. Like I grew up in a hood. I literally grew up in a hood in Portland, and I knew so many black people that were just, I couldn't imagine they'd ever be bothered by anything like this. Like feelings and not feelings like they're robots. I'm saying like this crap. Like feel for your ancestors. Hate this group because of this thing and this thing. It was like there were so much more galvanized of a idea just because we were all poor, that we were all poor. None of us were the same in any other way other than we were all poor, and we could kind of galvanize behind that. And to my point, it's like I went to a very mixed school. I would say it was predominantly black, but I mean, just on the other side of the fence of the baseball field was a place. There was like, it didn't have any driveways. They were just like shacks, and it was called the ghetto. It is insane how things used to, how they sneak these things into cities. And I know they still exist, and places like this are, probably much worse, obviously. I've seen it. But even then, you look at all these other circumstances that you would think that the climate would be so much worse between races, but it wasn't. But now, when we really need to galvanize and we really need to come together and fight, now we're too worried about our past. Now our past won't let us join together. Yet, you're able to pull anyone back from the dead, and they'd be like, "What the fuck? Yeah, guys, go! What are you talking about? Of course." Just frustrating. It is extremely frustrating that people like this are able to take up space in the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating to have to live in this, age at this time and be where we are and who we are and have to deal with this. Um, like you said, it sure didn't seem this way back in the '90s, and if only people really had caught on, just to the regular number patterns, because there's so much in your face with this story and all of these stories. But like I just said, Elon Musk's birthday, June 28th. It's been associated with several Nazi events. Um, and then as well, the moon landing was in '69. Um, and Elon Musk saving the Boeing astronauts 69 days, after his death anniversary. After, yeah. So you have the 69 again, and then Nazis equals 69, just like the Jesuit order, 69, the Illuminati 69,
Mhm.
Catholic Church 69. So, you just see what's going on 100%. Like I said, with the moon landing being in '69, Elon Musk and the story, 69 days. And then you got, all these '69s all over the place, just completely undeniable what this really is. Um, Yeah, I mean, it's just this whole story, and then just look at like fascism. Fascism's got the the 47 in it, the 25, like it's 2025. It's got the 119, 9/11. So
Big 47, like Trump number 47
yeah,
in 2025.
yeah, it's like right wing. Right wing's got the 47.
Hmm.
Mine camp Comp has got the 47 as well, and the 88 like Trump.
Like that?
Sig,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
Sig Heel's got the 47 too, and the 74, the reflection.
Yep.
Project Mars got the 69 as well. They got all the other 69s. So you got Project Mars, big 69.
Those are some Trump numbers too.
Yeah. It's like Adolphus Hitler's got the 60 and the 201.
I mean, yeah,
It's
just look
like
at
Donald
Project
Trump.
Mars.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jesuit Order 69. Illuminati, Catholic Church, Nazis, all 69. Yeah, Warner von Braun's death anniversary was the day, and then 218 days, like Holy Roman Empire 218.
Mhm.
You got the 88 as well, like Trump, you got the 74 in there. Trump 88, 88, 25, 47, 29. It's like fascism. Fascism's got the 47, 25. Of course, all the 47s you can't forget. It just goes on forever. Whig 47, DC, president, White House, government, authority, Republican, Democrat, time, outer space. This never ends. And you got, it's just like conspiracy. It's got the 123, obviously, the 51, the 57. Mars got the 51, the 57. Moon's got the 57 and the 21 and the 51. Scottish Rite 57, 78. Just undeniable when you put it all together and you just look at the numbers.
By the way, I'm a firm moon landing denier. I mean,
Me
it
too.
conflicts with. It's like my beliefs don't stem from necessarily religion, but it is like religious texts that pave the historical landscape that I base my thinking on. But I'll say this: I don't think it's possible. Um, on top of that, it's it's just I think the facts are out. I think anybody that's still just walking around like, "Oh yeah, we went to the moon," uh, I think it's too easy to find any number of like decent interviews and documentaries that would at least throw a wrench into being like, well, why did Buzz Aldrin do that? Why won't they just answer straight? Why won't they, why are they moving weird cardboard in front of the supposed window of the spacecraft? Why are they doing that? Why is the camera 10 feet back from the window when they say that they say it's explicitly that it's in the window, but then somebody walks in front of it. How does that happen? So is there a guy outside the window? Is that a Martian? Do we see our first like alien? Oh my god, an alien. We're really proud of you boys. You boys are doing great work up there. All you Freemasons are just doing such good work up there. Now make sure you hang up the phone all the way on the hook because I'm going to be playing some Halo later, okay? And I don't want the dial tone on. I don't know. That's an old school reference. It's not as old as the moon landing, but it feels old. Back when you had to, if you got a call, you get kicked off the internet.
That's like amazing. It's like, how do you have better cell service on the moon than I do outside? I can't even go by the stop sign. I lose service. Man, you're all the way on the moon and you got that shit? Man, you are professional. You must be working with Bin Laden. Advanced cell phone technology.
Yep.
We're
They
real
give
good.
the like the Apple eye cave or something. The eye cave, eye space, cave phone, space phone. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'll workshop it. Come up with something better. But yeah, so yeah, like I was saying, I don't even think the moon landing's necessarily real or possible. And then, but what you do have is a concerted effort by mostly Freemasons and other, societies involved to orchestrate this whole narrative. And it's like, why would they want to do that? And I think without going so far, it's what it really is it's just test on test on test. And there's micro tests and there's macro tests. There's Tuskegee and then there's, you know, Damar Hamlin collapsing. There's different
Yep.
levels to the tests that they pull on us. But at the end of the day, it all gets indexed away and it goes into their, like they're a therapist on the couch and they're like, we're on the couch and they're just poking us with stuff and seeing how we react and then just writing it all down. And, reactionary emotional people are really easy to manipulate and look around everywhere you go. If you merge wrong in traffic, if, just think about your daily routine driving. You're on an on ramp. An on ramp. That means you're getting on the freeway. How many people won't let you on the damn freeway? What is their game? Are you? Can I not be ahead of you? Am I going to win? Am I about to win? And this is going. I have felt this way back in the day. I had not felt that. I wasn't actually thinking that. I just was more selfish with driving, where I just, I would rather zoom ahead than like let somebody get in front of me back in the day when I had a faster car too. But anyway, uh, but yeah, it's just so prevalent. And then it's just like how quick people are to anger or swerving around you. It's like,
Oh yeah.
say you move into the far lane, like the fast lane, if you will, and you're only going 75. It's like, I'm going 20 over the posted speed limit, guy. Why are you riding my ass going 80? Like, you could go around me. You could. It's like, why do I have to pull around for you? It's like, what do we? This isn't the autobahn. I wish it was, but it's not. So, but there's just so and that's just like day to day driving type of thing. But like people are so unwilling to things are like you've said, it's coming to a head and it's not in the good way. Kindness is so rare. It's almost kindness nowadays is almost met with like an alien, like, whoa, wow, to where you don't even appreciate the kindness because it's just so weird nowadays. It's like, can you just yell at me so I don't have to feel this way? I don't know what this is, but just yell at me real quick. I want to go back to normal.
Yeah, everyone looks at you like you're an alien or a Martian or something, like you're out of this world. I mean, it's I've been getting that look all week. It's just been, especially lately, especially since 2025, and like you said, I mean, it's just getting more wild by the day. I mean, last night I was sitting outside and there was someone, I don't know where they were, how far away they were, but they were like down the road, I think towards like the gym, but they were like tearing it up out there. I mean, they were doing like burnouts for I think like an hour, like 30 minutes to an hour, and they just kept going. I mean, it was crazy. I was outside and then I heard it, and then I went in, I could still hear it, and it was insanity. It's just the way people are now. It's like you said, you see it when you're walking around, you see it when you're out and about, you see it when you're driving around, you're on the highway or just on a regular road. I mean, it's a regular road, just driving, someone just, you're in a 25, people are blowing by you doing like 50, just like hauling ass around the side, like, God damn, Jeff Gordon, got to go get another victory. It's crazy. I mean, it's just like,
He just slingshot off me. Oh my God, what a maneuver.
I don't know how we got that draft at 25, boy, but should have gave me some bump drafts, pushed me along the way.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a
yeah,
madhouse.
yeah, it's fun that we're able to laugh about it, and obviously we're in a specific time in our life too, where I mean, slightly different. I'm a little older, but we're at that same kind of, I think, crossroads of it's like once you understand enough, you realize that the walk you're supposed to be walking isn't just like the same one that everyone else is walking, and they're just it's you can't stop and fix everybody or attempt to fix everybody, and I don't even think I have the tools to fix everybody. In fact, this is like what this is me honing my tools. My tools are dull. I haven't, other than talking to my mom and very few other, I shouldn't say very few, but few other people, to not to convince them, but to truly give my mind to the tell them about it's not my mind, it's reality. It's met with such vitriol, and it's generally like we've spoken about this before. It's just like you don't give the benefit of the doubt to the person that's trying to free you. And it's it almost reminds me of like people who get sued for sexual assault for giving the Heimlich maneuver to a drowning girl or drowning woman. It's just like, fuck. It's like, why did I hear this? Sucks, dude. You try to help somebody and you end up being villainized. So that's
Yeah,
something
it's just how it is today. It's hard to even talk to a lot of people. A lot of people are just shunned away, or they're just so caught up in whatever they just want to believe in, and that's just they just fall in those traps. I was talking to one of the trainers at the gym this week. He was talking to me, and he's supposedly he's a Christian and stuff, but he's saying he believes we're in the end of days, end of times, or whatever. And I think he said he's trying to become a sheriff or something around here because like he's like, well, we're like short on sheriffs, and he's like looking for a job or something. He's like, yeah, it's like he's like, it's gonna be in our lifetime. It's like it's gonna be in our life. We're gonna see it in our lifetime. And it's like, and it's kind of how I see it in a way too. It's like I look at like you look at like how we're kind of spaced apart, like 5 years or so, and then you got like Zach who's a little bit older, so Zach's like gonna be like 42, and then you're turning 35, and I'm turning 30, so we're all kind of spaced apart. But it's like as
bridging that
I
gap.
look at those years and that time, and I see it's like I see the fall of man, the fall of humanity in those years, those times. There's the difference between like Zach and then you, and I just look at where we are, and you can see the agenda in those years and that time,
Mhm.
and how everything's played out, and kind of why we are the way we are, and how we've become who we are. And it's you just see it, how this is played out, um, so much. And it's like I look at society, and it's like this is just what it's like I do agree, we are in these end of times, end of days, but it's like it's because of humanity, obviously. But it's like even at the same time, it's like you never, I can't. It's not me to give up and quit, and just here to fight till the end, just keep going and just keep pushing and do whatever I can do. But at the same time, you do look at it like, yeah, it's like it does look more and more like it's just this fight that we can't seemingly win or do much about. But it's like it's more about even if you're not going to win the fight, it's like you still have enough pride in yourself to just keep fighting till that final whistle, and to just fight till the end. And just it's about how you finish, and just how you just keep staying on it till the end, no matter what, even if it looks like it's already hopeless and like we can't win. Because it's like, I think that's where it's at. A lot of people, like I said, people seeing that we are in suppose these end of days and times, and you see these stories, you hear these stories, and it's like, uh, it's everything is reflecting on itself. We've just come to this head. I mean, um, where it's just like, humanity is just, it's not responding. It's like I said, how like, from like, my, it's like, and then you look at like the younger people, people that are, 5, 10, 15, 20 years younger than me. It's like I just can see these, rifts and ripples in people and in humanity along the way, just like how we've just kind of declined as a species in such a short amount of time. And it's just amazing to see it, but it's more amazing now that we're at the point that we're at, because it's like now people, it's like I talked about, kind of last episode, appreciation goes such a long way. And people, the lack of appreciation, the lack of um wanting to just kind of make do with what you got. I mean, that's kind of, I see it as too. It's um you have to just, what you have, and then people just don't want to it's just like some people, it's like nothing is like good enough for them. I don't know, it's like you can't, some people, you can't make them happy no matter what you do. And we're just in such a dangerous moment in time with all these with so many people just under, such hypnosis, and just not, just asleep at the wheel, if you will. It's just how it's like I'm saying, it's like, you're in the end of times, you're in the end of days, but it's like, to me, it's like, how do you manage that? That's what it's all about. It's about managing the fallout. And then you have, whatever options, like, like I said, if you're gonna go down by the equator and try and live off the land, live off the grid, just have your food, water, shelter down there where it's warm year round. You're gonna go out fighting here, whatever you're gonna do. Um, but I think it's like just people to get like, uh, in that mindset. It's just like, it's just like, that's the, if I can agree with, because his name is Justin. It's kind of funny, Justin. You got Austin, so it's like, and then you have. It's funny too, because he actually ordered one night. He actually ordered food and actually ended up delivering to his house. So I actually met him at his house too. It's kind of funny, but
Like, either
but
way, in this day and age, that could be the like a start of a like a cable guy or a just like, "Oh, what a
yeah,
coincidence. Now I know where you live. Oh." Or for you, it'd be like, "Oh, crap. Now you know I work for Uber or whatever." Like, either way, it could go just like but what really is, people should just be cool with one another.
that's funny. He's got a little Honda Civic too. He says he does DoorDash and stuff, and
Mm.
his wife, I guess, is like I think she does like hairstyling or something. But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's like, and that's how it is too. Like at the gym too, like, because it's like, it's more just coming down to like, I feel like our auras, like our presence, as we just walk around and people just, I mean, everybody like that I talk to, I know they like they're all this, everyone's pretty much cool with me. I mean, it's crazy. It's like they all just consider me like I'm like the boss. They're just like, it's like, what's up, boss? But my guy, it's like, that's how it is. Everybody is there. It's just crazy. It's like um this, we've just come such a far ways, I feel like, compared to most people. I mean, uh how we've somehow been able to, not be like everyone else. But I look at all these other people, and it's like, and even like, he was telling me too, he's like, yeah, you, because I was talking to him, he's like, oh yeah, you look really good for 30. Like, because he asked me how old I was. He's like, yeah, you look really good for 30 and stuff. He's like, and then it's like, yeah, he's like, yeah, I agree. It's all about just being happy with what you have, and just doing the best with what you can. It's like he said too, because he's like, he's like, it's gonna go down in our lifetime. It's gonna be in our lifetime. It's gonna be here sooner before we know it. So it's like, I feel like on a surface level, I feel like I do kind of agree, and I do have kind of the same aura and sense of the people around me in a way. Uh, Even if we don't agree about a lot of things, or we're not exactly alike, it's like I feel like a lot of people are kind of somewhat in the same spot. Um, it's just, I feel like we're just coming to such a moment here down the line where I kind of look at the gym as like it's like in what I have is like it's like the local community. It's like because they were like they were doing other things too. I mean, I gave like the one guy I know I talked to there, and I gave him because like they put their numbers on the door and stuff too, like all the personal trainers. I talked to the one guy, and like I'm trying to get him to like I don't know if he looked into. I told him about like our podcast and what we do too and everything, and I told the other guy too, but I don't know how much if any of them looked into anything at all or not. But like, there's so many things like me at the gym. They got like pictures or like videos of me. I'll be like bench or never. There was this huge like uh big like black jack dude who was there this week too, and he was like I was like talking to him and stuff too, and he's gonna give me compliments like, oh yeah, you get a nice bar path and stuff. So it's like everybody is like, I feel like they are on to our aura. They know that we're like the chosen ones, but then you still have all these other people. It's like I said, it's I see the agenda everywhere. You got that one person that's at the gym that's been there. I don't know what it is. Is it a boy? Is it a girl? What is it? I can't tell. Then you got, you'll have your people who don't really say anything, and you have like the trans fluid gender kind of people, and then you just have your cliques, these different people you come around with, and that's kind of where it's at, because you look at most people, everyone's kind of either on edge, they're edgy, they're kind of starting to lose their minds, they're starting to kind of fold up, um, and then you're seeing other people, it's like they've kind of just accepted uh, like that we're just at this end point, but yet they're still kind of fighting and trying to, but they do see that whether it's just religion that is kind of got them stuck or whatever the issue is, um, everyone's just kind of in their alleyway from what I've talked to about things. And it's kind of, you have to kind of, I think we're at that point where you have to kind of reflect on yourself and see where you are in life. Um, and see where, what you even see is even like realistic and possible too, because it's very interesting how what you have even the next few years. I mean, you look at, this year being 25, the quarter century, the next year you got 26, so you got like God, Cobain, COVID,
Mhm.
26. So that God, Cobain, COVID, 26, and, 26 letters in the alphabet ain't no joke. The next year after that, you got 2027. It's like the 27 club. And then,
Ritual, yeah.
yeah, ritual. And then 28 is a perfect number. And then if there's going to be a selection in 2028, and then 2029 inauguration, if there is that, and then you have 29, like all the 29s with everything else. So you have, and then you have 2030 where we're going to own nothing and be happy. So you have everything laid out for us right now in the next few years. So it's very interesting to see where other people's minds are at and what other people think about things, and then just looking around and just being honest. I think that's the big thing too. You have to be kind of honest with yourself and look at where you are and what you see and what you think is even realistic anymore. Because like I said, I mean, look at the next, like, February and March to me are going to be very telling. February and March are going to be very telling, and there's going to be a lot of things that go down that set up for April and the rest of the year. So we're at a very huge point right now with all this, and like I said, April by that time it's going to be a monumental month. Um, but there's going to be this massive push, like we said, this year, no matter what. I mean, there's no way this year is coming to an end without massive changes and massive pushes and forces on the agenda, and getting something pushed no matter what it's going to be, matter if it's a bunch of things, even possibly condensing it at once, um, which very well might be the way it goes. It's kind of the way I'm seeing it. But then it's like the super AI, the AI, you got the big the Stargate project too. I mean, just look at this insanity that's coming. I mean, it's just absolute ridiculous. And, it's, of course, in the Stargate project would be on, date numerology, it would be 47 for the project. Um, go figure, going all the 47s that we've talked about. Um, and you got,
When was it announced?
um,
Did you say the date numerology was 47?
Yeah, for when it was for the project, yes, it was 47.
It must have been the 22nd then.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the because this if you write out the Stargate project, it equals 211, and 211 is the 47th prime number. Of course, like I said, Trump,
Mm-hmm.
47, 29, 25, 88. And of course, the guy who's behind this, Sam Altman, um, the big Sam Altman, he's the face of the project. He gets, it gets announced on his 275th day of his age, uh, going all the 275s, federal government 275.
Stargate Project.
Yep. You look at federal, it's got the 51, the 33.
It's got the 33 like Sam too.
Yep. Yep. Sam 33, 6, perfect number. It's got the 48, the 21. I mean, look at that Altman 61, 16. Got the sixes, the 1 6 there again, just like
June.
the date that can be written for that shooting there when Tennessee was established on the 1661. So it kind of goes kind of like in that uh story too. Like how many Altman like Control Alt Delete. Like that's what I think when
Well,
I see
yeah, this was
Altman.
announced the day of that shooting.
Yep.
And of course the 38 to go with that.
Yep. Altman
Interesting.
38.
Oh yeah, suicide 70, 47 too, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Which
Sam
is what that.
Altman 22,
Mhm.
94, 59, like Freemasonry. And look at OpenAI. OpenAI has also got the 33 and the 60, the 60th selection.
Wow.
Donald Trump 60. And of course his birthday was um Sam Altman's birthday is April 22nd, 1985. So 1 week and 10 years for I was born.
See if we can get a full name here. If it's Samuel, it is Samuel Harris. Huh. His middle name's Harris.
Go
Huh.
figure.
Yeah.
These clowns. Samuel's got
Samuel's got the
17.
17. Yeah.
Big Keel.
There's
54.
that 119.
Yeah.
Yeah, his full name equals 33. Come on, man. Come on, man. Oh my god, I can't spell all of a sudden. Hmm. I mean, what do you think about all this? I mean, how much was the 500 billion?
Yep.
I guess Ukraine's gonna have to wait for a little while.
Yeah, we got
Sorry.
big plans here.
Oh, speaking of yesterday, yeah, yesterday on the way into town, um, yeah, yesterday there was a just outside the PDX, like across the bridge, going across the bridge from Vancouver to Portland. Um, in the middle lane, like the middle, there's like this small human walkway, which I mean, they would have had to walk quite a ways. Um, but there was a bunch of people there, like, thank you, America. Ukraine thanks you, and just flying huge Ukrainian and American flags. And I don't know if you know this, but Portland has a big like Ukrainian Russian presence, especially in like Southeast Portland. It's kind of weird how many are there. It's wild. It's like every other block there's a Russian store, which are pretty good. I've had a lot of Russian and Ukrainian friends in my high school days. I know some choice phrases in in Russian. Maybe I'll teach him to you sometime.
Kalashnikov 47, bro.
Yep. I mean, just this whole. We got sleepy Trump now.
Yeah, 78. I think he's getting too old.
Testing his pulse. Oh, that's right. Trump is 78. I was looking for
Yep.
a number in Trump's name, and I was like, "Where's the 78?" I know that exists. I forgot he is 78 years old. That's right. Same as Biden. Tripping. But yeah, I mean, since we can't, Elon Musk is the Taylor Swift of politics. You just can't. You think you're reading something about an earthquake or an earthquake in Turkey, and all of a sudden it's Elon Musk's Starlink is to blame because space debris got in its way and it shot a information beam right into Turkey's seismic center, and she's like, "What the fuck am I reading?" But anyway, but let's see here. Okay, so they got Oracle, the United Arab Emirates is getting involved. So there you go. Got some Saudi backing. You got that Sheik money.
Yep.
Not sure what MGX is. I mean, come on. I mean, of course. Oh yeah, we're all so willing. All these other countries are so willing to build the infrastructure for AI in America. Yeah, we're happy to do it over there. Yeah, that's like, well, don't you guys want some? No, 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 no. We're good. We're good. We want to see we want to see you guys thrive. You guys can have all the AI over there. We'll just take the scraps. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was this, if this was what it was, because I know the Larry Ellison, his remarks were in about this were on Austin, Texas. I don't know if it was for this or something else, but because you have Austin Jesuit, Austin, Texas.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, Larry Ellison is the guy that Elon Musk doesn't like, and that's why he didn't. That's why he criticized this the day of it or the day after they announced it. Which, once again, you hold a position in the government. You should be doing stuff. Not that I agree with the government, or I'm just saying like they're turning this into Jerry Springer. They're turning to just whoever wants to yell, yell. Whoever wants to say something, yell it. Go ahead. I mean, just look at the ICE director guy. We're gonna catch these motherfuckers, and we're gonna keep looking for them. And if there's anyone, I know when I catch one of these guys, there's gonna be another guy there, and I'm gonna get him then too. We're just gonna get these guys, and it's just like this is not how normal. Like even in Bush days, it's just like it makes you miss like now watch this swing. I love this. I love that so much. We're looking for peace moving forward. Now watch this. Watch his back, whatever this stroke. I can't remember what he says, but it's so good. I need to save that soundbite. I love that soundbite so much. Oh man, one of my favorite moments all time. That
Yeah,
when
just
he
like you were
dot.
saying before, like look at like here we are with this story and AI and all this, just such stupid bullshit of a world we're going into. It's like of all the worlds and possibilities and places we could be going and where things could be heading. It's like uh, in all the things that seemed like they were possible when we were kids. Where we would be by now, and this is how it's like. This is the direction. This is where it's going. It's just this could be more maddening.
Not to mention, this is like they announce this all, and they're like, "We're doing this for you. It's gonna be huge," but it's all done in the private sector. What? What do you mean for what? So what? You're gonna test it on us? It's not like they're gonna be like. It's not like we're gonna be involved in the. I think this is like soft disclosure. Honestly, the way they do this, I think this is soft disclosure. They're saying you're going to be involved, whether you like it or not. You're going to be what our AI is developed for and with. You're not going to get the fruit. You're going to look at it. It's like, oh, there's a new game on my Meta glasses. It's from the Open AI, bro. It's so sick. It's like I'm able to like be a sim. Now I can actually like talk like a sim. And I can like, oh dude, I can like slowly walk and like cook stuff now, just like my sim character can. And thanks to Donald Trump's and open AI. And all I needed to give him was, an ounce of my blood, a COVID test, make sure my inoculations were up to date. And I'm right in there, bro. I'm right in there. All I got is my Neuralink, and I'm all good to go, dude. Now I got the glasses, and I'm gaming, baby. I'm on Sims 8. I'm able to play. Anyway, I'm done. But I mean, just oh my goodness, like the mod squad. Like, okay, is I, if I knew about this picture before, I could have done some good stuff with this picture. Yeah. It looks like a proud mom posted this like before prom.
Yeah.
Of like the three friends got together and took pictures at the house before they went and picked up the girls or whatever. Oh, honey, you're so handsome. Mom, you're
Looking good.
embarrassing me. It's like, how do
Yeah.
you get shorter than this guy? But you just do.
Okay, why do they look like they have no legs too? They look like they're just like they're missing their
They're-
legs.
Why is he in such a baggy suit? He's like a hyper trillionaire. You're not in a fitted suit. You're just wearing a Goodwill 3-piece. It's like, holy shit, dude. And then it's
Yeah,
just
they
like
look like
this guy gets to shop at Kids
they look like
Gap.
they've never had leg day. It's like, where's your legs?
This guy gets a discount wherever he goes because he's able to buy, in the 13 and under section.
Yeah. You have to be this tall to ride this ride.
I built the damn ride. Let me on. Sorry, sir. You're not tall enough. Damn it. Mm. Oh, there's more photos. Oh, there their legs are. They're just, nope, they really are. You're right. The torso to leg on these guys is really weird. I mean, photos can do a lot. I mean, for all we know, they're doing something with the lens of the photo to make Donald Trump look so imposing. Because, like, there's no way. I mean, supposedly Donald Trump is like a bit taller of a dude, but I swear the photos are cropped to make him taller every time than the people around him. Like, that's how petty it is. It's very much like Dr. Evil-y, like just a petty thing.
Yeah, they got to make the big orange clown stand out.
I always love when you can tell where they have walls. You know about like the White House and all the rooms, that all the moving
Oh,
walls, like all the walls are like not real walls; they move. I think there are real walls, but then there's like this is not a real wall. You see how it's like in front of the light switch? They'll just move this
yeah.
wall when they're done with this press thing, and it's like a big open room. It's really weird how they do things. It's also really weird that it's allowed for the incumbent president to like decorate. It's like, what the fuck is going on? I'm gonna drain the swamp. We're gonna make it huge. We're gonna get it all done. But first, I need my throw pillows. Okay, I need these. I gotta get my. I'm sick of these dusty Biden throw pillows. They're dusty. They're old. We need the new, huge MAGA pillows. Just
They're
like
gonna be
what?
bigger. They're gonna be better.
Yeah.
They're
Right,
gonna be
John?
extra red. I'm gonna be
John,
extra orange.
John knows all about my pillows. John, go ask John. There's always like a John or a Rick or like a Craig in the crowd. Like, I want them to one day just turn the camera and just that there's no one there. Just be like, I don't know who he's pointing at. It's not me. Oh man, I could just slap that guy's face till his. Anyway, look at the skin tone ratio.
Yeah,
Like, bro, what do you got? Your hands in your pocket in the tanning booth? Like, what are you
yeah.
doing? Are you in the booth in your suit? Is your booth a guillotine? Oh yeah, I mean, right there you can. I guess it's a podium, so they'll just say that that's. I mean, look how imposing he is all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You got Teddy in the background too. I'm surprised JD Vance wasn't here. The youngest, uh, what is it, vice president or just I want to say vice president, but I guess was Teddy Roosevelt a vice president? Vice president? I can't remember his connection to Teddy Roosevelt. And so many people revere Teddy Roosevelt. All of his pictures are like George Washington esque, like he's a savior. He was so bad. It's so crazy. People have no idea about like generally the best people. Just like I was going to talk about MLK, it's like the best figures you're given that hold up like ideals and principles, they're the most flawed ones. That like they're the reason there's so much propaganda about them being good is to cover up the bad. It
Yep.
drowns it out. Not covers it up, but it drowns it out. Oh, so funny. He's so big and so funny. I like him. Sorry. It has to do with South Park. I'm not trying to be rude. God. I bet if you just wake up and you're at one of these, like, it would probably feel like you're in hell to be in this room with all these people. It probably has the like, the heat's not on, but it's like 90 degrees and you're just sweating. It's just like, oh my God, you could just feel the evil. It's
It's like when
difficult.
you're in school and you got that evil teacher. It's always hot as fuck in that room. You're always like, "It's so fucking hot in that room. It's such a bitch," you know.
It's like, damn, dude, we're gonna you're gonna want those people when it's the next ice age, when the power grid goes down. You're gonna
Yeah,
want a bitch nearby and keep it nice and warm without any energy.
that's really how it was. I had a teacher named Miss Hess. It's like Miss Hell, and it was like in like seventh grade, and that's how it always was. She was just nuts as fuck, and then just crazy. And then every time you go in her room, I think it was like I think it was 357 was a room or whatever, 257 or whatever, but it was always hot as fuck, and it'd be cold as fuck outside, like 20, 30 below, and then fucking 40 below, and then one cancel school, and it'd be freezing as fuck. And you go in her classroom, it's just boiling hot. And it's just like I can just feel the evil, I can
Mhm.
feel the pits of hell.
So then, to go with his exceptional first week, um, he's issued some threats, signed some executive orders. Of he couldn't make this one an executive order. He has to just say it. It's like, why don't you get your little big Sharpie out and sign this bitch into order too, so that we don't have to pay taxes this round right now. It's tax time, you fucking bitch. You know it's gonna be a full year. You know how many people already filed their taxes, but you're
Right.
gonna like just say this now. So what it almost feels like a bait and switch. Like you're gonna get a bunch of
Yeah.
people to be hopeful on this Trump trade, like, oh, the white hats are coming. Trump's leading the white hats. They're gonna abolish the IRS. So I better not file my taxes. Here comes April. Well, I mean, he said he's gonna do it. I mean, I've already waited this long. Now you're back taxes. Now you owe. Now it's like now it's next year and you got to file too. Well, yeah, I'll keep waiting. I got my Neuralink just says to hold on. It's just my Tesla. Every time I go to drive to the tax man, it automatically reverses and drives me back home. I don't know what's going on.
They won't even start anymore. I can't even get to the grocery store.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
this is where, like I was saying, things are dangerous because it's like this is where the danger comes in. People are like, "Oh, see, look what Trump's doing. He's going to get rid of taxes and all this, and he's going to do all this." And then you look at it, oh, and then he's going to usher in the digital dollar, digital money, and then boom, you're going to have no money. And people are just going to buy into it because we all know this is where it's going. I mean, with him, and who knows where this is really going to go, how this is going to play out. But all this is just one thing. I mean, you're getting rid of the IRS, but here comes AI. Well, what's that? AI is going to tell you how much money you got. The super AI is going to make sure you got no money at all because it's going to be so AI is going to destroy AI. So there won't be nobody left. I mean, that's just where it's going. It's like I said, it's just this fake, pushy plastic world now that's being pushed. And then you're just going to have all the people that uh, think this is, the new hope. Oh, look at that. He got rid of taxes. It's like, yeah, it gets rid of taxes and then brings in the digital money. So you can't even be part of the system no more. It's where it's going, just a weed out process, people like us. And this is a key way they could do it. I mean, they got all the people and they can dress it up real nice and sell it to you. I mean, it's like a car salesman, all car's got 500,000 miles on it and the motor's knocking pretty bad, but I think it can go another 100,000, even though it's like burning up on fire, wheels are missing. It's like, yeah, I think it can make it around the block a couple times or two, just however they can sell and push these stories to you.
Mention the white hats coming to save us. Here they are.
Yeah.
Here they are. There's the white hats. They're
Yep.
coming. Finally coming. But I mean, just listen to this quote. On day one, I immediately halted the hiring of any new IRS agents they hired or tried to hire. 88,000 new workers.
Ooh.
88,000. I like how in the headline, nearly 90. Where does it say? Nearly 90,000. Well, how many? 88,000. Oh, that's not a number associated with Trump at all. Interesting. And we're in the process of developing a plan to either terminate all of them or maybe we'll move them to the border. And I think we're going to move them to the border. Trump said during a rally at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. Yeah, I guess, I guess, but, he's instead of going golfing, he's just going, I wonder whose money he's spending.
Yeah.
He's using that our tax money while he's saying about abolishing the IRS, spending it on slots where
It's
they're
got to
allowed
be
to
the
carry
Tiger Woods.
guns. They're so strong on guns, but these people are allowed to carry guns. So we'll probably move them to the border. You continue certain special IRS agents are certain special IRS agents. Yeah, right. Don't downplay it now, guys. Remember when they were like, look at all these. And when Biden first hired all of them, and it's like showed you little clips of like people I could easily fight. Like I'm no fighter, but I could easily fight them. Oh, but now they got a gun and they're gonna come and audit you with a gun. It sounds like like a cartoon or something. Like in the future when your tax man is also the judge, jury, and executioner.
Yeah, the IRS buying up all the guns, but yet Trump's getting rid of the IRS. He's getting rid of them, man. Didn't you hear? He's gonna make America great again. This digital currency is gonna be so easy. You won't even need a wallet no more. You won't have to worry about dropping your wallet. Someone stealing all the money out of it, bro. They're gonna take care of that for you, bro. Look at them, just make America great again, bro.
Where the fuck are your 1045s? Right now. Get on the, where are they? Put them on the ground now. Slide them to me. Slide the fucking document to me. It's just like, what the hell, dude? I just want my $300.
Like my brain chip isn't working. Brain chip malfunction.
Is this Neuralink gonna be a write-off? I said shut the fuck up. One more peep out of you and the kid gets it. Okay, fuck. I mean, we should. Oh, dude, I'll just shut up because I feel like I'm about to write something down here. Um, but yeah, I mean, this is just more, and they put this in, and it's like he signs how many executive orders, yet you only hear about like one or two of them, and then the rest of it is just stuff he's saying. Like usual, it's just stuff he's saying.
Yep.
I'm want to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to build a wall. abolish the IRS. I'm going to go to Mars. I'm going to go golfing. Well, he does that.
Yeah.
He doesn't lie about that. How about just no tax? Yeah, dude. I bet that of all the beneficiaries for the most amount of money, I think you and your friends would have a pretty good time saying, "How about just no tax?" What does that look like when locally? How does that look locally? What are, because here's what I want to say. Say we have a system put in place by people who actually care about the community. There would need to be some sort of, maybe not fundraising, but not awareness raising. I hate that word anyway. But like there would have to be some sort of raising of initiative to get things done. Like that is a true part. It's like not everything in society is just unnecessary and wrong. There's obviously it takes things to function. I get that. There's certain things that are just going to be hard to abolish and go back to monkey. I'm down to go back to monkey, but I don't think enough of us are to make it worth it. I'd just be throwing shit in the woods by myself. But anyway, anyway, um, yeah. So what I see happening is low. It's like, okay, you want the federal off your back? Well, guess what? Now, you want your road fixed? Good luck. You're on a waiting list. You have no, you thought it was bad before. And this might seem like stupid, but I mean, honestly, things like the roads being in disrepair, that's a much bigger issue than people give it credit for, I think. Because a lot of the
Oh, yeah.
scams that permeate in our culture have to do with the insurance companies, the adjusters, the body shops that profit off of the roads being so bad. You know how much less work they would have if we all had nice roads like European countries? There wouldn't be a chop shop on every corner because there wouldn't be a alignment shop on every corner. And I say every corner, but I my stomping grounds in like North Portland, Northeast Portland, and then Southeast Portland, and you can't go very far without a cheap chop. I say cheap, expensive for cheap work. And then of course your expensive insurance claimed body shops.
Yep.
Um, for problems of with the infrastructure, and that it's like a system that holds up another system. So, I think they'd find another way to make it, even more personal. Taxes, like, okay, you don't have to file your taxes once a year. Instead, you have to give into a system 6 times a year, 12 to every month. Every month you're going to be, I mean, we already are, and they are local. I mean, most states already have like individual taxes now, which I thought was like not supposed to be allowed since the founding of our country, but I guess they just said fuck it. We're just, Titanic's been down. We're going to keep going with what we were doing. But yeah, I mean, like Oregon, because we're artsy and we're wildlife. And you look around, it's just druggies and fucking shit everywhere. But no,
Yeah.
we're the artsy wildlife people. So you got to pay more for taxes because you want to keep your beautiful state green, right? Wildfire, wildfire, druggies, wildfire. It's like, what the fuck am I paying for? Why are you taxing me? None of this stuff is coming to fruition. It's like ever since they've implemented these things, that it's just everything's gotten worse. They just keep erecting square concrete buildings and cutting down countless amounts of trees to do it. So that's kind of weird.
Yeah, and then every time you have something like this, you're getting rid of, it's like Washington too. Washington doesn't have state tax, so it's like the fifth cheapest state when it comes to
Mhm.
taxes overall because there's no state tax here. But it's like you get rid of tax, and then and then what does that usually lead to, or what will this probably lead to? It's probably gonna lead to wars or world war, tariffs, stuff like that, and then uh, whatever comes of it, and nothing is going to be good if it's they go that route, or the digital AI currency route, or wherever this goes. If how legit ever, if this is legit, or if this is going to happen. Uh, but it's a perfect, sell point because it's just, again, you have so many delusional people who are just going to buy this up and, oh, see, look at Trump. He's doing what I told you he was gonna do. He's making America great again, man. Now I don't have to pay tax no more, bro. I mean, now I can finally afford to have a living and do something. It's like, and then you're gonna have all the people that buy into the story, and they're gonna buy into everything else, and they're gonna, like I said, they're gonna dress up real nice. They're gonna make it look, real good, and then once everything's implemented, they're just gonna pull the rug on you, and then everyone's going to be left on the outside looking in because they didn't see it for what it was. Um, like I said, if it does happen or does go through, because it's never. I mean, and whenever you have a situation where, uh, it's just like like I always say, it's he's probably going to do the repeat of Grover Cleveland. Grover Cleveland. There was the uh, economic destruction. The despair under him, and now you got Trump here looking to come in and just do it again. Um, But this time, unlike Grover Cleveland, Trump's going to have the AI do it. It's going to have Elon Musk and his dark mega be part of it. So they're promoting and pushing the police state. It's going on up all around us. Um, and like there's going to be laws and penalties and things used against us, and it's just like I said, it's a way to weed people like us out. And then you have uh, these key people are just going to get behind all this technology that's just moving super fast, and you're gonna have all these people that uh, it's like all these people that think that they're getting away from things going to digital currency route, or they're going on the crypto or the Bitcoin. They think they're making a difference. Think they're getting away. It's like, no, you're just, there is no escape. Whatever money system you're on, they're behind it, control it, and there's not going to be any advantages. Um, and that's just where it's all going. I mean, this is going to be a story that's just rubbed in our face down the line, uh, and then it's just like I said, it's just going to make people. It's just like all the people right now, they're falling for all this, and they see all these you know big rich billionaires getting together, and they see all these talking heads. Oh, Trump's beating with Bill Gates, and then Trump and Gates are getting together, and you got Elon, you got Zuckerberg, Fuckerberg, all these retards together, and people eating it up and thinking it's going to promote and bring good things into their lives, and then uh, next thing you know, they're out of here, like with the COVID jab, thinking, "Oh, father of the jab, I can't wait to try it out." And then next thing you know, they're out of here. So yeah, it's just where this is heading. I just more push for the depopulation. Um, this is really how you get it going with, uh, like I said, what I think is going to be the Grover Cleveland part two, where you just have this economic fallout because we're already in this depression, and now they're doing a phenomenal job masking it, making people think they actually have a seat at the table when they don't. Um, yeah, it's just amazing what they've how these people get away with this. It's just amazing how they uh, keep doing this. Now they've done so much damage such a short amount of time,
Mm.
uh, and it's not whatever happens happens. I mean, it's like I always say, I don't even, you can't even care about the money at this point, because I mean they've told you their plans for so long that what they're going to have you is 100% control, and they said in 2025 they have 100% control of the world this year. So whether it gets implemented this year or not, I mean, it's something I definitely see happening, in this administration, the next 5 years, especially with us owning nothing and being happy. Um, I think this is just going to be how they're going to make it look all good, and people just buying up the AI and the technology, and then uh, just keep merging these things. And you got and then you got, what else is Trump doing now? Oh, he's bans the pride flags. And you have this other story where he's bans the pride flag. You look at uh, pride flag. What's that equal? It's got 78. It's like Trump 78, Cleveland 78, Cleveland 48. Pride flag 48. Pride flag also 51. Conspiracy, but and they also have the 165. So you have 3 out of 4 cipher match. Cleveland 33, but it's another division tactic by the big orange slob.
Yeah, I wanted to piggyback on what you were saying too. Or what we were talking about. If you think about, I was gonna Google this real quick, but if you look at our top exports, these are all things that chiefly Alaska for natural gas and oil, aerospace products. Well, what the fuck does that mean? I
Right.
do understand what that means. It's mostly like what fiberglass and chip technology, um, and motor vehicles. And they say and motor vehicles, but they're not very specific on that. Uh, Especially since a lot of our, you know, a lot of, we used to be, but a lot of that's been, sent overseas. But
Right.
anyway, the chief export moving forward, we're talking about taxes and how if we're going to eliminate the IRS, we're going to eliminate the taxes, right? What would give them what's the put those on the scales. Okay, you got the scales. Eliminate taxes. Okay, so now what are they going to do to even that out? How are they going to get their get back? Well, the chief export is, you look at all the countries that were backing this plan. You got the Saudi countries, you got the United Arab Emirates, you got all these big tech companies doing it. Okay, what's the export? You and me. We are the export. We're our data, our programming of AI is the export. That's why they can even say that they'd be willing to do something like this, is because it's definitely not an equal exchange. You might think of it like that in the short term, just like oh, I got my COVID check, so everything's legit. But no, this is just another COVID check. This is all this is. It's just a smoke screen. And here's the thing. This would be different if we took him at his word and just not that we trust him, but we say, "Oh, fuck you, you said it." So, we're not none of us are doing our taxes. So, it doesn't matter. Whatever happens happens, and since you're dismantling the IRS like you said, and you're not going to get these people coming to us with guns and saying our taxes are all backed, force it into action, but do it through us, not him saying that we can do it. Do it. Let's not do our taxes. Let's not, because our president said that he's going to do all this stuff. Why shouldn't we just immediately not do it? Isn't that, so it'd be one thing if that's what it was, but what's going to happen is it's like it's going to go through due process and all these things, and you're going to have, this is ridiculous from this side, and the courts are going to stop it in at the supreme level, and then they're going to have to do a trial. Is this constitutional? Taxes aren't constitutional, you fucks. That's what they're going to do is they're going to parade this whether or not it's constitutional. I already know. I already know they're going to do this because they love to layer things to where you're going to have people fighting about things that separate you from the first thing so far that you don't even understand what you're fighting for anymore. You don't even you're fighting whether or not the IRS being abolished is constitutional. Their existence isn't constitutional. The Constitution isn't constitutional. The founders aren't the founders. You aren't you, and then your skin just unravels, and it's like your Google, and the whole world just. But no, I mean, all jokes aside, but yeah, I mean, we are going to be the chief export of the United States. That's why that this is going to be possible. Wake up. We we already are, but we literally are, an autonomy is going to be the chief export. We already gave it up in 2020. En masse. We gave it up for nothing. Absolutely nothing. They can now they can dangle $1 in front of you like the State Farm commercials. Oh, so close. You just gotta be a little quicker than that. And we'll just keep jumping for it. They don't have to dangle much in front of us for us to just jump right in the middle of the road for it or off a cliff for it. So, like I said, it'd be one thing if we collectively, and not even like all getting together and doing it, even if it's just TikTok trend and YouTube trend, but it's just like, okay, no, all these promises are being said, but they're not able to push them through. Well, I'm not waiting a year. We're going to see we're going to do this right now. But the problem with that is with it being controlled by the federal government, that leaves the ball in their court. What needs to happen is something not on their timeline. The issue with revolting on their timeline is that it's on their timeline. That's the big, like, we have to take this to a neutral site. We can't keep fighting on, the giving them the home field advantage on every single issue. One of these things actually has to be off of their Nazi clock that they're functioning on. There's their Mayan calendar Nazi clock. I'll have to like make a image of that at some point, but because going along with this and just saying, oh, the IRS, that's just playing right into their hands. They have the thing on the other side waiting for us. So we could think it's a good thing now, but like I said, it's going to hit us locally, and or we're going to just be blindly saying, oh, this is great not having taxes the way we used to have them. Just got to log into work and just got to get on the Minecraft. Oh, retinal scan complete. Okay. Neuralink data processing. Okay, hold on. Give me a minute. Okay, I'm ready to brush my teeth. Toothbrush enabled. It's like, fuck.
Brain chip malfunction. Brain chip malfunction.
IRS on their way. IRS. It's like, oh shit, that's what the IRS becomes. Is the internal. I don't know.
Damn, I forgot to upgrade my brain chips this week. Damn it.
That'd be pretty
Try
funny.
again next month.
Because it is weird with their name is the Internal Revenue Service. Internal.
Yeah.
And like Neuralinks are internal. All those
Yeah.
things are internal. Maybe that's what they become the police of. Oh yeah. Like you were saying, sorry, I did kind of like hijack that. I did want to get that last point in about the whole tax thing, but yeah, you're talking about the pride flags and I think similarly to what I'm saying now, there is a bounce back on a local level that it's just drawing, like you said, more division and more blowback to the common people. Not that I agree with the whole transgender movement, obviously, but I think how they handle it and the lack of like nuance. I mean, I honestly could care less. I'm so sick of adults acting like babies and getting their way and like them thinking that it's okay to do that. What I wanted to say real quick too is it's another form of tribalism. Like it's not like we don't need everybody on this, not everybody, but as many people as possible on the same page. It is a little bit frustrating that just because I'm straight, there is a sect of people that view me differently and they don't see it that way. It's constantly, this is how they do it. This is how they keep people's minds separated and tribal and against another group is I've watched the transgender movement form. I've watched it. It happened in my, very recently. This isn't something they like to bring up documentaries and show black and white video of like a transgender person from like, look, the movement's been going for centuries. The bitch, no, it hasn't. There was no movement. There was one guy. There was one person, one they. No, what I'm talking about is this artificial movement where you are brainwashing people to, destroy their bodies inside and out and their minds, and also brainwashing them to victimize themselves while assigning a villain. And that villain for LGBTQ people are the straight heteronormative people. They like also to give us a title like we asked for it. What am I in your flag? I didn't fucking ask. I'm not on your flag. Don't take me off of your whole thing. I call me it. Remember when it was the bad thing to call you? Call me that shit. I'd rather be called it than hetero bullshit, all that other stuff. But yeah, it's just another mechanism for them to, because what it really boils down to is they target children. Whether, even if it's an adult that gets hit with it, which the adults are obviously prone to it, what does that adult then do? They espouse it, they become in some way a model for that type of behavior, and then you get a prone kid with a, in a fucked up situation, because it's so common nowadays with just the average household, you would assume from what you see, that their minds, skewed from school, from what their TV is saying, what their doctor's saying, to what their parents are saying or what they're not saying. Um, that, these kids become more receptive to, outside influence. And, I've seen it in my day. It was a lot less harmful, I would say, but I still remember the Cholo movement. I remember when like half the world went Latino all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, just in the blink of an eye. Or like everybody I knew was just wanted to get Dickies and lugs and stuff. I'm trying to, it's not comparable, but I'm just saying how easily they can manipulate a swath of people's mind. I need to go back and look into that. I need to go back and look into that whole Cholo movement and what that was all about, and what underlying thing that was for. Maybe it was just for that first wave of like legal immigration to like usher in the law, and then knowing that they were gonna, you know, not play by the rules after that. Anyway, sorry for that tangent. Anyone who remembers the Cholo movement, leave a comment.
No, you're right on the money. I mean, you just got to look at what they've like I've said before. It's like I look at like Zach's generation, your generation, my generation, and yeah, it's like yeah, there was always like a gay person or a transgender person or a fat person, but it's like now it's like everyone's gay, transgender, fat, trans fluid, uh, obese. You don't know what they are. It's just this has become uh, like I said. I mean, you can't escape it. It's everywhere. I mean, I'd seen it in the middle of Wyoming. You go to Wyoming, it's like this. You go to the middle of nowhere, it's like this. Every state, every town is like this, and it's just gotten worse and worse. And of course, it's all part of the depopulation as well. But then you have to look at it too. Not only depopulation, but um, it's just it's like even the clothes. I mean, it's like I was saying, even the clothes. You look at the clothes like 20 years ago, people didn't dress like this, they didn't look like this, and then you look at where we are now. It's like these, and I just seen all this stuff coming up as a kid and then growing up, and it's just this massive push that's taking place, and all this stuff that's just came out of nowhere. Um, and then with the story, obviously the pride flag and all the Cleveland and all this division, and then um, the mockery of Grover Cleveland, and then trying to get the people on this more people would say oh the the pride flag is for the blue states or the demon rat states or whatever. Even though it's an ongoing agenda everywhere, doesn't matter where you are, so it doesn't matter. But um, just another story too to tie this all into uh, just add more fuel to the fire. We have another fire. Of course, it's going to be under Trump. The Hughes fire uh, shuts down I-5 there in LA, and of course that's the main highway. Like I get to where I come down and see you and I-5. That's such a main highway. And then you have this story here of this another fire, of course, having to happen, and you just look at the overlap. Hughes has got the 68, the 32, the 94, the 22, and you look at arson. Um, Arson, of course, as well as the 68 and the 32. Hughes Fire has got the 47. Um, Wildfire has got the 51. Like conspiracy is another big conspiracy right now. It's kind of like the Rams. The Rams 51 as well. 15. You got um, Los Angeles, California. Where else? You got to keep attacking that area. It's like all this. In the Kobe, uh, tribute, all this Kobe alignment with everything as well. And then you just look at where this incident takes place. This takes place in Castiac. 56, of course. Um, it's like climate change. 56. Um,
How do you spell Castiac?
CA. It's cast and then AIC.
Mm-hmm. Just like you got Gavin Newsom groveling to Trump. Please don't cut the funding when we're at our worst moment. Oh well, you better come around, Slick Willie. You better come around, Gavin, to some Republican ideas, or else your state's not going to get funding for all. It's like this is the shit we're doing.
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom, another 56, 52 as well.
Yep. Society of Jesus 56. Climate change 56. Washington D.C. 56. And look for a lot of fires this year. I mean, fire, I think, could be one of the main things that takes us down this year. You're going nothing to be happy, and easy way to do it. Fire equals 25. Of course, 38, 29 to 70. What's so interesting too is this town Castiac is 38 miles apparently from LA. Washington D.C. is in 38th parallel. The day after the fire started will be 106th day of Gavin Newsom's age, and Friday was 106 days after Gavin Newsom's birthday. So it's all synced up with him, of course, as well, Mr. California, Mr. Cali. Yeah, it's another destruction story, I guess. And then you have, all the other fires we talked about, and this one, of course, attacking that area. So, yeah, this is going to be something, and who knows if this is going to be something where we're going to see these fires take place, start happening everywhere. I mean, they could just keep burning up LA around that area since there's so many people there. I mean, it's a real easy way, whether they're using arson or it's like how the Azul, last week survived the fires, the blue little Volkswagen. So, whether they're some of this being used, lasers and laser technology and, direct energy weapons and whatever they're really doing this with. Sure, some of it probably could be, arson fires too. Maybe this one was, but, yeah, this is just going to be, and again, this is just, you're going to own nothing to be happy and just keep taking people out like this. And then, of course, like we said, this story will be forgotten and there'll be another fire and, people still won't catch on, unfortunately, but, who knows where this is, I think this whole year is going to be a watch out for fires and wildfires, and especially come the summertime, it gets, fires, summer out here, usually we get the fires, we live in the smoke anyways. So they might really double down on that this year with that 25 in there.
Yeah. I mean, more often, growing up, the Pacific Northwest was always so wet, and we were known for being like so wet and like dreary and during the winter months. It is reversed in the last few years
Oh yeah.
a big time, and now we're threatened with drought every year, and it looks like this is going to be another one. You have the whole other half of the country getting snow when we generally get our coldest and snow. We're getting nothing, and it's just been beautiful days. Like
Yep.
we're like I feel like every day it's another beautiful day. I'm like, well, we're gonna pay for this later. I don't know what's
Yep.
going on right now, but we're definitely gonna pay for this later. And and you see how they do it with these wildfires. I remember the story right after Asheville, the flooding in Asheville. All the bees are attacking now. Now all the bees are attacking. Well, now it's like residents, oh, it's raining. It's great. The rain's come. Oh, wait, the rain's toxic. And so was the ash. Get inside of your home that burnt down. Like, what is this supposed to do to anybody? What do you, residents face? Residents, where are they residing? On the street. I don't if your home burns down, where do you reside? I don't know how
Yeah.
much of the Hughes fire actually burnt down houses though. This is actually something I haven't super checked in on, or I haven't seen numbers on it. 28 died. Damn.
Perfect number.
Wait, is this talking about the Hughes fire? Oh no. Okay. This is I looked up the Hughes fire, but this is about the okay, 28 was the final count of the other one. Okay, so this is still talking about the LA, the main LA win. Well, that's weird. I looked up Hughes fire. Maybe further into that, it talked about that. But yeah, you see what they well either way, you see what they did with the LA fires then. The initial ones. It's like, oh, your guys are gonna get rain. It's gonna finally come to a halt. Toxic ash, death from above. 95 contained. Flash flooding possible. oh, you're finally. Oh man, it's been so hot. I'm so dry. Oh, you're so dry, huh? Okay, here you go.
Steer the flood this way.
Mhm. Yeah, Castiac, California. Let's see what that is. Spelled out all the way. CA. Hmm. Seen those numbers before.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this was talking about Castiac as well. They could get mudslides and stuff. That last one was confusing because they like conflated the LA fires with this one, which is not what I was looking for. Just, I mean, biblically, you're gonna have. I'm sure preachers are having a heyday. You get fire, then a flood. You're just like, oh, oh, I told you, we told you, we tried to warn you. We've warned you about this for 30 straight years, but now finally, it's happening. We were right all along. In the burn scars.
They're burning it down.
I feel we should pay attention to this if all of a sudden LA's flooding because it's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You got New Orleans getting snow, LA's flooding.
Here it's warm and sunny. We don't even get winter anymore out here. It's
Yeah,
just
it's crazy how haven't had a single like drop of winter.
yeah,
I
it's
don't
been
know.
like this for years now. I mean, I came back out
Mhm.
here in 2022. I mean, um,
Yep, it's been a
and
concerted effort
we
to
got a
dry the
little
streets
bit.
out.
Yeah, we got a little bit. I remember in 2022, like November, December, there's like a little bit of snow. A little bit. We had an ice storm. I remember in like December
Mhm.
there, and then 2023 we literally had nothing. 2024 was the same thing. There was nothing. There was no snow in 2023. No snow in 2024. Here's 2025. there's still been no snow. So we haven't had
Also,
snow. I mean, it's been cold. We've had cold, but other than that, like we don't even have winter out here. When I lived out in Seattle, like I said, there in like 2019 with the biggest snowstorm ever, and then in like 100 years. Then the same thing when I went to Wyoming, the same thing, biggest snowstorm in like 100 years. And it's like now we don't get nothing anymore. It's just no snow, no really winter. It's just cold, and that's about all you get. Cold and sunny.
you know what worries me a lot is I made a prediction for the 9th of February, which is fast approaching. It's crazy. Um, for a potential flood in Oregon, just because I mean, you'd have to go back and find the episode I talked about that on. I don't have the exact reference point. I would anyway. I did some digging on like the last major flood in Oregon and Portland and stuff like that, and compared it to our one of our bigger city projects called the Big Pipe Project, and its completion date and certain other things. And I think flood equals 29 or flooding. No, it wasn't that. Well, either way, it'd be an anniversary date of the last biggest flood in Oregon.
Yeah,
And one of the best ways to flood a place is drought. Actually, you would think it'd be like sogging it down. That's one way, is to like make it really wet and then like have a huge snowstorm after it's been like raining nonstop. That's a good way to flood too. But another good way to flood is to dry everything out, because the drier it is, the more hard packed it gets. It won't absorb the water quickly. It's not like sand. It's hard dirt and hard earth that will not initially absorb all the water until because it's cold. It's, the ground's frozen, but the water's not, type of deal. And that causes quick flooding and backing up of storm drains and stuff, because debris gets kicked everywhere, because the debris is just chilling on the top because it's not mulching, because it's still cold. So it's not like, yeah, anyway, a lot of factors go into it. But I had a prediction for a potential flood in Oregon in February. And if things continue the way they are, I could see like a large weather pattern coming in. They like to do, where we get like a week. If we got a week straight of rain now, I think that potentially flooding would be possible. It hasn't even been sprinkling in Oregon like all winter. I'm not even joking. It has not
yeah,
even been sprinkling. I can't. It's barely rained, and we have to. Why it's like even more of a focus on my mind is because we have two dogs, so it's like annoying having to wipe them down when they come in the house all the time. But that's few and far between that we even have to wipe them down, because it's never raining.
yeah. It's amazing how they've changed the weather and just completely. I mean, I was out here, like I said, 2017, 2018, 2019, into 2020. I mean, we still had rain. I mean, we had some snow. You get some snow, you get some rain. I mean, it was still, the weather was still somewhat real. I mean, now it's just, or what you would normally expect at least, but now it's just completely changed. I mean, uh, and we've had like almost a week of sun already, or at least a few days of it. Now we're gonna have at least a few days more, and we're supposed to, like I said, maybe have some snow this weekend, but we'll see if that actually does play out or not. But um, like I said, I mean, I really have to watch out for the months of March and February, because the snow or the winter could just be, like I said, just starting right now. I mean, or they could be just starting something.
Yeah, you're right. They do. It says for Washougal here, it's saying Sunday, but a low of 38. So it's like this will be like snow shower. I mean, not to say that all this is always real. Um,
Right. Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, I used to rely on the weather thing. I used to look at that and kind of trust it, and it kind of was accurate, but it is no longer accurate at all. I mean, I can't tell you how many times they've said it's going to be, oh, rain every day, or this every day, or that every day, and then, or it's going to be this. And this year, I've just been, I don't even look at the weather anymore. I've literally stopped looking at it this winter, because it's been so inaccurate. And
mhm.
it's been such a lie. It's just, you can't rely on nothing anymore. It's just amazing how quickly they've changed and shifted things too. I mean, other people too in other areas, people can let us know if how their weather is too, if it's how different it is, what's going on. Is it like what it is here, where they're just changing things up, mixing things up. Things have just kind of been the exact opposite. Uh, and then even the weather forecast. How is it in other areas? Is it actually accurate? Does it actually do what they say it's going to do, or is it just completely like 180 and all over the place? 'Cause it's like, I mean, you never know what you're going to get. I mean, it's crazy.
I mean, not to mention, I mean, it's always pretty bad, but the the chemtrail, contrails, whatever you want to call them, I swear they've been playing games up there. I saw like a tic-tac-toe pattern the other, like a perfect one. I'm not talking about like some like I saw like I still saw one of the planes doing it. Like they were up there playing a game and they were like they drew like a square with like it was like tic-tac-toe like board that you would draw before you play tic-tac-toe. It's just like what are the odds that you get 6 planes all going, 3 going north and 3 going east and west, and they all just let their chemtrails out. I mean, because you could see the streak, it stops in the sky. So it's like they sprayed here and stopped. Then another plane came along, sprayed there and stopped. Another plane sprayed and stopped. And then 3 did the same going, you know, whatever, the other 90-degree perpendicular to it. So it's just like, that's just an obscure, I should take a picture of it. But I need to have that more of that state of mind to like document things. That's one thing I need to get better at. Because so many things, pop up and happen. It's strange. It's worth documenting for my own sanity, probably at the very least. But
Hard to keep up with it all.
mhm. I would say the only weather phenomena we've had at all was just that one, like it was like 4 or 5 days of fog, which I want the fog back. Where I'm living, I actually kind of want the fog because I've been trying to do a burn. But anyway, that's besides the point. Um, but yeah, other than that, they've been cooking us in the skies. It's just like there I haven't s I can't remember the time I saw a real cloud. I have my ideas about what if that's even possible anymore to see such a thing. But, at least an idyllic cloud, let's put it that way, like a painting worthy cloud. I haven't seen one of those in so long now. They've all been just the sprayed gray skies that anytime that there's cloud. So that's, and then not to mention we're under the geological survey right now too. So on top of that, you got the planes flying all day, all night, doing their surveys. So God forbid they find a gold vein under Portland. You better watch out.
Yep.
But mm, yeah, I mean, I could definitely see the wet. I mean, it could be that you know I I don't want to act like they care, but I feel like they do like to keep their operations spread out. That's why like you never see like a story happen like a national story happen in New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island all like at the same time. You'll get one in like Vermont, Texas, Colorado. They'll spread it out like that so that it's just like your focus is, they're never so it's like to that extent, it's like who knows if they'll target the northwest. But right now, the southwest is obviously getting hammered with different things. Fires, floods, all sorts of good stuff. But so in that aspect, I don't know if they will target the Northwest, and maybe that's why we're getting such idyllic weather, or well, other than the chemtrails, like such clear skies, is because they're just like maybe they're not doing as much. Maybe they're using the stuff that keeps everything at bay here, so they don't have to deal with it because they're doing so much. geoengineering somewhere else. That's like, it's crazy that that's like wishful thinking. It'd be kind of nice if they were using the spray that subdued the weather and, only caused, micro cancers rather than the ones that cause turbo cancers and the ones that bring those clouds. That'd be fun. It's like, why we even got to think like this? It's insane.
Yeah, and it's like you said. I mean, the way they're making it so nice and sunny for us, it's like, yeah, we're definitely gonna have to pay for this some way or reason down the road. But what's it going to be? And it's just crazy. I mean, yeah, the 100% control of the world, the weather this year, 2025, and I mean, and I mean they have it. I mean, you look at it. I mean, they got it to a T. I mean, um, the way they've just kind of removed the winter and most of the rain. I mean, um, right out of here, and just the way, and when it does rain, it's like, I mean, we've had some rain, but it's like when you do get the rain, it's like, yeah, I remember, it used to just, dump and like
Mm-hmm.
pour for a while, and now you don't really get that, but you might get it like a day where it dumps and it pours something, or a couple days, but then it's just like, then you get the other days where it's just like gray and there's just nothing going on, um, or it's just overcast or something. But yeah, I mean, the winters have definitely gotten way more dry, uh, way more sunny, and now it's like, it's like I said, will we get, are we going to get a winter storm? Are we going to get a snowstorm? Are we going to get something? What's it leading up to? And then this summer, I mean, what's it going to be out here? I mean, generally, I know that every year I've been out here, especially since I moved out here, 2017, it's been fires and smoke and um,
Yep.
stuff like that, and then we're just living in the smoke. So they've just made that uh, kind of the way it is. Once you usually it's like at least like August around there, you're just kind of in it. I mean, June, July, you're kind of still recovering from kind of the wet and the rain and stuff. But then, in the last so many years, it doesn't rain as much. So then this is also contributing to the wildfires and how, uh, it's easier to burn things out here. It's easier to start fires, to burn things up. So, maybe, we're our area might be the California, LA, um, paradise in the summertime. You never know. I mean, uh, or maybe they're going to have something else planned. I mean, it's the way they have these shifts going right now. I mean, it's just crazy. And then you got, the South right now. They're not used to getting snow and cold and
Mhm.
taking all this abuse, and now they're getting the snow, they're getting the cold. Um, so they're kind of just really kind of screwing with everybody all over, mixing everything up. And then you got, uh, I don't know how like it's been out, like in the Midwest. I don't know how the weather's really changed out there. If it's still as cold as it used to be. I think it was pretty cold. So people were saying this week or whatever is like, I know it was below zero and stuff. So, um, yeah, I would look for more winter attacks. I mean, winters, like I always say, it's the easiest time to, take people down. And now it's cold, and then you can just make it colder, make it snowy, make it whatever you want, and then just do a lot of damage. It's real easy to get people behind in the wintertime. And uh, I think it's kind of like the dead of winter right now. I mean, it's usually the coldest time, like February usually, but um, March can still be like that too. I mean, in April, spring. I mean, who knows? I mean, if we're gonna get, this, I feel like the summer. I feel like it's gonna be. Uh, I feel like it's gonna be kind of like a hot, dry summer. Um, I feel like they might be trying to get the fires going maybe earlier this year, um, just to get people living more of the smoke too, because you get people more in the smoke, and just
It's this
more ways to screw people
programming.
up. Yep.
It's this weird thing where it's like so much of it's, these kids nowadays are going to come up in they're going to have such a skewed view of what life is. you know they're going to think that these things are normal. They're going to consider this nature. They're going to consider this natural. By the time they're adults, they're going to say, roaming wildfires and all these things are just normal. It's just like these stories were few and far between, and they were probably manufactured when I was a kid too, but they were done a lot less. And now all of a sudden, you can't. It's the agenda right now is global warming at all costs. It's global warming. It's climate change. It's they need proof in every sector. So it's like, oh, it might even be almost a blessing. Maybe that's why Washington. Well, then again, we have gotten hit, but I would say a lot of our state. I can say our state now, but also Oregon. A lot of why it's been able to stay green. Maybe it's just because they're so far into the agenda already. Whereas you have states that haven't conformed yet that are um, and then there's of course the idea that these are land grab type things, and obviously it's not a question. You don't have to ask a question. It was Lahaina a land grab? Was California a land grab? Was Asheville a land grab? You don't need to ask that question. That's the guarantee. You gotta, that's the bait. We're operating on, that. We start with that. Obviously, this is you know, we figure, we had to do some discernment on whether or not these things are how they're manufactured or if they're manufactured. Generally, only how, because I believe most of them are. But we know that they're land grabs. We know that these are ways of moving people out, displacing people, disappearing people. Not to mention, where are the numbers at? Who has the real count on missing children during all these things? I think a lot of this plays into just the idea of just missing children. Maybe we'll have a deeper discussion on the true nature of the people that rule over us and what they really want deep down and what they've shown us that they want and what they've proven that they really want. It's not money. They don't get any joy out of money. They don't get any joy out of really anything that we consider fun or pleasurable. That's not they're alien in that way. They every once in a while you get stories of a sick murderer or rapist or this and that displays these like or like all these psychological terms they'll throw at you, narcissistic and blah 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 this and that. Well, like they are that at a base level. And it's no when you have that and it's normal, they all just they function on that. And because they are the puppet masters, it's like then you get this Sid from Toy Story situation. It's just where we're just the helpless toys, and add into to that the I'll say obvious for people that look into things, the obvious targeting towards kids and being able. I mean, this goes back our entire founding plot sense. Obviously, any information. You guys can look into the orphan trains. You guys can look into the um, expositions and stuff like that, and then all the way up till now. All look at Lahaina. That's just been swept under the rug. I read an article that said, I think we read it on stream, but they said that they found 97% of the kids or whatever, and that they were nope, they're all fine. Just like, oh, okay, I trust that. I trust this one article that said that they found all the kids. I thought that none of the kids were missing though. I thought that that's what you guys said is that that was a hoax and that was a lie. But if they're found, how are they missing? How are they found if they weren't missing? Anyway, I guess what I'm getting at in the grand scheme of things, I don't want to be masking anything. Is our rulers, they're sick individuals. They do things to us, and they're so far beyond the normal that anything we perceive as normal, or even something that we might perceive as like degrading or slimy to do with another person, that's that's nothing to them. That won't even get it to move. That won't even get it to twitch. So that's where these kids come in, and that's as somebody with 2 children, it's bad enough that I even see this stuff creep into their mental space, let alone thinking that one day, you know, I might not be home when something happens. And oh yeah, I mean, I'm a step away from being more militant. I'm pacified into what I am, and that's that. I'm aware of it too. I'm aware. Like I've spoken multiple times. It's like I'm aware I'm a pacified version of what I should be, and it's a problem. It is a problem that instead of embracing my role as a father and knowing that that is what it takes, those people are the ones that are needed to truly be militant against the systems that are hurting our kids, because we are the ones with the passion behind it because there are kids they're hurting. But at the same time, you have that crab in the bucket thing where it's like your family, it's your family. I don't want to be without my family either. It's finding a way to sacrifice in the right way. It's not like I want to jump into a fiery pit and become a martyr like that. It's not like I want to run into a field of bullets and just die in a field. Yeah, I want my life to like mean something in this fight. And a lot of that comes with, the fight hasn't even started. That's the problem. Is I have all these thoughts and the fight hasn't even fucking started yet. And I'm 35 tomorrow and we still haven't started. It's just we're talking about it. Other people have talked about it. No one started shit. And then on the back of my head, and further than the back of my head, actually in the middle of my head, I'll say, is the realization that they want my kids and everyone's kids, and what they're willing to do to get them and what they do with them once they get them. And it's infuriating, and they don't need to be my kids for me to care either. So just the idea is, ooh, man, it's like your teacher's in the room right now. I'm getting hot.
Yeah. Yeah, Hess just walked in. It's got
Mhm.
Hess today. But yeah, no, you're 100% right. And the biggest thing I right now is the key thing is relationships. Like like you're saying, like with like your kids and everything, and in your position, and it's like even for someone in my position, I don't have kids or a significant other or anything, but it's like even it's like that's to me that's the key right there. It's like the way it's like I'm saying, like Zach's generation, your generation, my generation, this gap and just where people are and in how people are living and where it's just like um imagine the roles are reversed. Imagine if I was Zach's age, he was my age, or you were my age, or you were Zach's age, things would be completely different because it's that those years in between that make all the difference.
Mhm.
And where like I say, of course, where you're from, where you live, and where all the other stuff too. And um, but that's the biggest thing is they've they've really shunned like a lot of like people's potentials.
Mhm.
Like I always bring up like how everything is so pushed back. Um, especially now. I mean, it's like like at my age, even I have to think about it too. It's like I do. It's like I trying to find a significant other, if that's even doable or possible anymore. And like and if you ever found and if I was ever in position to like you know find someone and ever you get married or have kids, if that's ever even doable in my lifetime, which it doesn't seem like it is at all right now or like it will be. But it's like you just see how right now there's like this total because nothing's they're just closing the window, but the window has really, been kind of closed since like 2020, especially with the way people are now. And it's like it's getting so hard to like reach and find people, and there's like really no hope for these other people. It's like because like these all these kids coming into the world, it's like all these people and these younger people, what they don't really have like much of anything to look forward to. It's like I brought up in the last episode too. It's like so hard to look forward to things now. It's like because they've taken away um relationships and stuff for the most part, and the kids for the most part. So you don't really have like this like it's like almost like you already like kind of had to have like done it almost. Like it's getting harder and
Mhm.
harder to like find people to um that you can even have like any kind of like friendship relationship with. It's like everybody is they've just been uh so spread out and secluded. And like I said, they're pushing everything back. They're limiting people's potentials. Um, and it's so hard. Um, to me, it's like too the hardest, the biggest thing to me, especially with most people, it's hard to find consistent people, or find someone that's consistent. Like I'm consistent, like you're consistent. It's hard to find people that are consistent that you can uh, build with and work with. And it's like, it's kind of something I've learned earlier in my life too, like uh, when I was younger, like, cause I mean, I've been with a lot of people, like I've been with a lot of women and stuff. And, um, but that's the thing, I've been with so many women, I've been with so many people and stuff. It's like, and then you learn things when you're young, like I learned when I was, like 21, 22. By then it's like, yeah, you're not, you think you're going to find someone, and then, what was like the traditional way, you found someone young and then you try and like, build with that person and, you know, work with that person. And then, you're kind of building and working that person. And then you're just kind of, building, and then you kind of just, you just kind of grow from there. But
Mhm.
they've really taken that in society where you can't do it anymore. Like you can't, the things, that they were supposed to work or would have worked, when you were younger, or, if you found that person, the right person, something, and then it's like those things just don't happen anymore like they used to. Like you used to just, find someone, and then, you work together, you build, then you just, just put it all together. And now it's like now it's hard to do, and it's hard to find people that are on your page, and it's hard to find people that are looking for, what you're looking for. And then you have the delusional people that are just they're just too far gone. So the social like construct of relationships is what they've really targeted. um and I think that's the key way they've kind of beat people down. um because it's like, people aren't even, in relationships or looking for relationships or whatever, and that's supposed to be like just such a big part of life. um and most, like I said, in most people that are in relationships or they're married, their relationships are garbage, and their marriage is garbage, and then the kids turn out to be garbage because they're, the kids are fucked up because
Vicious
the
cycle.
parents are fucked up, or maybe the parents shouldn't have been parents, and then you have all these bad situations emerging. So
Bro, these
these
kids are
things-
so easy. It's just I wasn't even trying. I just boom. Just like, damn, these things are easy to make. What are these women complaining about? I made two. It's simple, just easy. But look, I hear what you're saying, and you gave me some good motivation earlier this week, a couple days ago, and I just want to kind of return the favor. I haven't known you that long, but we pounded pavement, and you came out and hung out for a day. But like in your on your video right now, you got that bright light above you. And that, even if you were to go up and go to another room, that thing follows you. I know that that one's just a reflection on the on the glass, but it's like there's one there anyway. And somebody will notice it. And I know what you're talking about. Things have shifted, and what I'll say to that is I can't. I'm out of the game, obviously, but I'll leave it at I know the game. I know the game well enough. And at the end of the day, I mean, I think what you're speaking to is, potentially that you did what, you hit the circuit, if you will. You had your fun, people like to say. But I know what you mean. The tides have shifted, and now things are pushed back. The way what you're explaining to me, because exactly that way you tiered it, I feel like I'm financially too far behind Zach to get where he is. Does that make sense? Like for me, it's like financials that I don't see
Right.
achievable. Whereas like
That's
I
like
have
what
a girlfriend that I've had for a decade now though. And now I
right.
have a kid.
That's like what I'm saying, like with me to you, and in that comparison too, like because
Yeah.
you got your woman, you got your kids, and you got your house, and then here's me. That's what I mean when I look at Zach. It's like, okay, yeah, Zach's in this generation. He came in the world here, and he got to do this there, and then here's you, and here's how you turned out, and here's that, and then here's me. That's what I mean. That's what I'm looking at. Like when I look at us and I see all this, I see it all like in all of that,
But
and
I would
then
say not to despair, because here's the thing. You might not find a truth seeker, but I wasn't a truth seeker necessarily. I mean, I was more than the average person, I guess would say, now that I know more of what the average person is like, because I look at it through the eyes I have now, the lens I have now. But she's on board with a lot of the things that, she was just a Dutch Brothers Starbucks chugger, just like most girls. And, the basic types of things, like, she still has her vices, I guess, if you will, but they're so few now compared to what it was. And it's not like I've came in here and cracked a whip or anything. It's just like, um, you grow together and things happen fast. They
oh
happen very fast. So don't give up. Don't rest on your laurels now. Don't continue to work on you. That is a great idea. And don't change for a woman, because they'll then expect that change. And we could go and we could have a whole relationship talk. Unfortunately, we only got about 8 minutes left of our podcast because the
maybe
BS
that'll
went
be
free
next
for
week's
StreamYard.
topic:
That's a good
relationships.
that's a good one. Let's plan for that. But yeah, motivation. Other than just me rambling on, it can happen fast. And I'm not saying take it where you can get it. You're not desperate, so don't
Right.
act. Don't all. I know you're not desperate. I'm just saying, like, giving you forewarning. Don't act in desperation. You already know what your worth. I know this sounds very like girl talky, but don't act in desperation. That's the best advice I can give you. And you'll find something that, as long as you're level headed and clear headed, and unless the you know unless you can bag whoever you want. Let's put it bros to bros.
Right.
And but at the end of the day, I get what you're saying. You don't want to be, you feel like a wolf jumping into a den of sheep, and just, easy pickings to these people bumping into the walls. Well, you could look at it like that, or you could look at it that everybody is going through things. Maybe your destiny is to build a family with someone who's lost right now, but you pull them out of them being lost, and before you know it, you got three little truth seekers jumping on the bed, waking you up in the morning. And it's like, don't lose hope on the idea that you might not find. First of all, everything I've heard about, like, truth seekers getting together, it sounds almost like celebrity curse. Everything I've heard about, like, that, them trying to do it, like, the only person I could date is somebody who's already where I'm at. Just like, good luck, because all I've heard is like drama and craziness from those kind of situations.
Yeah.
I would say find somebody who's on your level in other ways, and then implement more of what you what your ideals are moving from there, like a normal relationship. Just try to find as much normalcy as you can, and don't press the issue, and don't act out of desperation, and you should be fine. I mean, yeah, you should be just fine. I mean, do
Oh
I need
yeah.
to tell you a scale? On a scale of 1 to 10, I think you're gonna be just fine, and I would say you have pick of the litter, except for the only thing I would say is that some things socially has changed since when I was doing my thing. I think it's a lot harder for, like, not to say you are a couch potato, but I'm just saying, like, when I was dating, girls were like willing to date a nobody. And now, because of this whole movement and things have shifted, but that's not every single person. Obviously, don't go for a rat. You're not going to be looking for a ratchet. You're not going to be looking for a gold digger. You're not going to be looking for a, you know, prissy, find that sweet person and read their aura and check that body count and move on from there. I still think that that's important, but anyway, I'll leave that. I'll leave my motivation there, and I'll let you have the last word before we hop out of here. What's
Yeah, I mean,
Austin going to be looking for?
yeah, I mean that's pretty much how I feel about it too. Like it's just like um that's like I was saying, like with just like dating relationships and people, it's just the whole dynamic is just it's such a huge thing, and that's like we'll get into it more in the next episode. We'll talk more about this and stuff, and it's just like and like for me, it's like because like I said, like I've been with so many people, and then like I've been with a lot of people, so it's like I all over the place and stuff. So I have a lot of experience with like women and stuff, and it's like I just look at it like it's just I think everyone just kind of has to like be just honest with themselves, is look at themselves and be like, because everyone's just a different point, different spot. Some people don't ever really want to get married or have kids. Some people do, still don't. Um, you know,
Definitely
I,
take it
I,
slow.
yeah, it's like and I'm just like at that point too, where it's like, I'm like, at my age, it's like I don't really, uh, with the way the world is and in the way things are, it's like I don't really uh care so much how things, kind of pan out for me, because it's like I've said too, it's like it's not like I've, you know, screwed up my life already or done anything stupid or dumb, or it's like I've just kind of, played it smart and kind of had my fun and learned my experiences. And I learned at such a young age, and I think that's the key thing. I learned, in my uh, like teens, 20s, stuff like that, and then I just applied it and then just kind of learned from there. And it's just as the world has shifted, and it has, it's like all the things like I've just realized I've just gone more on the right path. I was already kind of on the right path. It's like, and you just realize it's like, wow, it's like this is. It's like I look back, where I was in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, even to now, and it's like, I feel like I'm definitely doing the right things. I think that's just what a lot of people have to look at, their point in their life, their position, and kind of what's right for you, what's wrong for you, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and um, is are you like what you're really looking for? I think, and like I said, consistency. Just finding, if you are dating, you're going to date someone, or if you are taking someone seriously, are they consistent? Can they be consistent? That type of thing, I think, is really what it all comes down to. It's just, and like I said, we'll get into it a lot more in the next episode, because I think
Absolutely.
it's such a huge topic, and it's such a huge, it's just something that's changed just so drastically in my lifetime, and I've even lived through the
Mhm.
change, and it's where we are now and to where it's going. It's just obviously it's huge for the depopulation and the people they're breeding and bringing up and stuff. So I think it's going to be good to go over that and talk about that, because I think it's and regardless of like who you are and what like like I said, to me it doesn't, to me it doesn't really matter at this point. I just do my own thing. I just, whatever it is, and um, I just see it at the point we are and where we are, and I just think it's very interesting because uh, everyone kind of has their own take and different preference on the situation. So I think and plus I think it helps to hear, what other people have to say about it and what other
Mhm.
people think and what they've been through, and you know,
Yeah,
tell
hopefully we
like
can get some people stirred up by it and willing to share and ask questions or whatever. Because yeah, like you're saying, yeah, it's a more important topic than, people give it credit. People think that it's just like a fleeting thing that everybody does, so they just do it. And you're kind of speaking to that, and I lived through that. But like you said, you get to a point, and it's like it's obviously you view it as a learning experience and so many things, but um, I think a lot of it you have potential to look back on it with some form of disgust or regret as well. And for any younger people, it might be worth tuning into this next episode. And I say younger people, I mean like of age, obviously, eh, of decent age, for any potential advice that we might have. But yeah, I could see next episode being pretty good, especially if we get some, community, um, outreach for it or get a conversation going. Um
yeah, because I mean it's such a, and like I said, I mean it's like something that whether people can chime into, in the comments or emails too if they got something to talk about or share, they
Mhm.
want to talk about things too, because I feel like it's something where everybody uh has relationships, people in their life, and how you live your life, what you want to do, how you want to do things, and what your philosophies are, and that's kind of what I kind of want to get into. What I think about it all too in the next episode, and what I think is even possibly right for me, or what and things just change. I mean, imagine if we were living in down by the equator and you got rid of money and everything, and we were just chilling. We'd all be living in a completely different life, doing different things. So that's another way to look at it. It's just to be more open minded about the subject in
Mhm.
general, really.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a great point because guaranteed, I mean, in some ways, we're walking contradictions. We know what we're doing is not right. Like,
Right.
we when we're doing it, we know it's not right. So, it's not like that's what I was saying, like, you take it as a learning experience, and hopefully, you're not applying it all as in, like, it was all a good learning experience. I mean, I say hopefully, but I don't know what your experiences were. But generally, going through the motions as a teen and up to, through your 20s, some of these interactions can be, potentially devastating. But like I said, we'll get into that, and I feel like this is a good chance to end it at 3:33, just like the Chiefs game.
Oh yeah.
So tune in
For
next
this
week,
repeat.
fellas. Deuces.
Peace.